Great whiplash, the Dow recovering more than half what it lost yesterday as Microsoft boasted the best earnings in 18 years. But Meta's earnings missed its targets as Facebook's parent company lawyers up.
Looming over all of this are legal expenses from high-profile court cases, not to mention the stain on reputation that potentially came from that. And then also severance costs from recent layoffs, which are largely attributed to artificial intelligence.
ABC's Christiane Cordero. Water plants across Minnesota have been hit this week with cyber attacks. The FBI not confirming suspicions by some state and local investigators that Iranian hackers may be to blame for these 30-plus attacks. President Trump saying he may pull Todd Blanche's nomination for Attorney General, but now we've learned Blanche met today with the two Republicans in the Senate blocking him, who are afraid about the IRS immunity deal that Trump put together. This is ABC News. A wild story of survival.
As he was hiking Montana's highest peak earlier this month, David Cifaldi slipped and fell, noticing, in his words, something wasn't right.
Realized I had this trekking pole stuck in my side.
The pole had gone below his left arm, through his body, and was sticking out of his back. Cifaldi, who's a nurse, spotted little blood and only light pain, so he assumed he hadn't hit any major organs. After talking it over with his fellow hikers and realizing a rescue flight would be very expensive, he decided to walk 10 miles back down the mountain to the car.
It was definitely a nuisance.
His friend Jess Ross calls it amazing.
He never complained.
Cifaldi said it hurt for a few days, but he's fine now. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Divers in New Jersey's rain-swollen Passaic River have found the body of a 10-year-old who apparently kept his 11-year-old sister alive as they struggled in the water last night. Crews are back in the water now looking for a third child who was in the water with them, a 10-year-old girl who remains missing at this hour. I'm Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
What we know surrounding the apparent firing of Seattle's police chief. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
It is busy out there this afternoon, Aaron. This one brought to us by your Seattle Mariners. Let's start you in South Center, South 5 and South 188th. We've got this crash blocking 3 left lanes. Good half hour into this, and you're sitting in a parking lot starting at the Boeing Access Road. Seattle to Federal Way has spiked to an hour and 10-minute drive. That's a half-hour delay. Now, some drivers are heading over to State Route 167, and this has North 405 packed between I-5 and the Valley Freeway. The Valley Freeway right now looking good until you get down to State Route 18. In Puyallup, we cleared our collision eastbound 512 near the Puyallup River Bridge, but we've got some hefty backup still from the South Hill curve to the seam. Westbound 512 backed up onto the Valley Freeway, adding to our 167 backups. Tacoma to Olympia, a 55-minute drive. South 5 in Seattle, just past Mercer. We've got a stall in the right lane. That's got you stacked up in the North Gate. North 5 packed from the Michigan curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Still got a stall in Bothell. South 405 at 522, taking up the toll lane. You're backed up into Alderwood. Don't miss the biggest event of the year at T-Mobile Park, 50 Seasons Celebration Night on August 8th, presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets at mariners.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. The Seattle City Council president says as far as she knows, Police Chief Sean Barnes still has a job. But Joy Hollingsworth says Mayor Katie Wilson did ask for his resignation.
This is the mayor's decision on this. When council we have no authority over the hiring, firing of department heads.
Hollingsworth says it is reckless to remove the police chief as the SPD is still investigating Sunday shooting at the Bite of Seattle, still looking for at least one more suspect in that case. Now, Hollingsworth not alone in her criticism of the mayor, so was Councilmember Rob Saka. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch spoke with Saka, and he joins us live now from City Hall. James.
Aaron, Councilmember Rob Saka says he's very disappointed that 3 council members, not including himself, got a heads up from the mayor about her decision concerning the future of SPD Chief Sean Barnes. Saka, of course, sits on the Public Safety Committee and made it emphatically clear Chief Barnes has his full support.
I have full faith and confidence in Chief Barnes as a leader, in his character, in his work ethic, and the progress that he's made as a leader of this department.
Saka says he's very concerned about what this move will mean for public safety and the progress the chief has made so far. Live in downtown Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Also at City Hall today, a coalition of black organizations met with Seattle Mayor Wilson to demand she keep the chief. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey was there.
The coalition, represented by the NAACP, church, parent, and other organizations, talked with Mayor Wilson for about 40 minutes. Mount Calvary Christian Center Bishop Reggie Witherspoon shared Wilson wouldn't admit she fired Barnes and wouldn't commit to reinstating him. Then, as the meeting wrapped up,
she listened well, made some comments at the end, and we admonished her again. And we can only hope that she makes the right decision.
When I asked for his impressions of the mayor, he said, again, he'd wait to see if she makes the right decision. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
911 calls reveal the chaotic moments following that fiery seaplane crash in the San Juans.
Just watched a plane come down from very close to where we were. You're not sure if anyone is currently in the burning plane?
I'm not sure if there's anyone else, but anyone else in that plane is done because it's completely on fire.
Now, all 11 people on board did survive, but 4 went to the hospital with serious injuries. KIRO 7 TV obtained those calls, which also reveal nearby boaters rushing to the scene of that crash near Susha Island last Thursday. Federal investigators are looking into what caused the Kenmore airplane to go down. Your forecast now, sunshine today and again for tomorrow. Highs in the low 80s for Friday, then dipping back down to the low 70s for Saturday and Sunday. Some clouds and light rain at times for seafair weekends. Right now, 75 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome to the John Curley Show. Don't adjust your dial. I'm Spike O'Neill in for John Curley today. We appreciate you guys coming along for the ride this afternoon. John Curley, as we all know, is a man of many skills, many talents, one of which John often lends his incredible skills to various organizations with his role as an auctioneer. I hope it's okay that I say that because I want to acknowledge the quality and the commitment he does to this craft. That's the reason John Curley isn't here today. He's doing work for the community, helping them, great cause, raise the most amount of money possible. But on a day like today, I think we would be remiss as a radio station, KIRO News Radio, if we didn't at least reach out to John Curley and offer him an opportunity to check in and give his thoughts on the day. So if I may, rub the magic lamp, dial the magic numbers. Mm-hmm. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. John Curley, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome to the John Curley Show.
Yeah. Hey, I'm out of town again. Don't fire me because I'm out of town.
You're recruiting officers. That was a different one. Oh, you're acknowledging the accomplishments of your community. No, that was a different one. Okay.
So where are we with this thing? So he's not fired. It seems to me what happens is she wants him to resign. He doesn't want to resign because it's probably a crappy package. He wants to be fired because then he can go back. You can sue. You can challenge the firing. You can get more money in negotiations. So I looked up a couple of things. So there's a bunch of stuff we don't know, Spike. So I'm going to give you some facts on normally police chiefs, and I'll quiz you on this one.
Great.
What has a longer life, a goldfish or a chief of police in a major city?
I'm going to go with goldfish here.
You are right by only a year. The average police chief lasts in cities anywhere between 2 and 6 years. They hop around a lot. They're put in there. They're appointed by the mayor. Often when a new mayor comes in, they are gone. Either they're on their own or the mayor decides some reason to get them out of there. Here's what we know about Barnes. So Barnes, in 2017, we worked in North Carolina. Then in 2020, Madison was considering him. And then all of a sudden a job opened up in Chicago. And he's like, I got to take it. Bird in the hand is worth, better than two in the bush. So he goes to Chicago, but he only stays in Chicago for 1 year. Then he goes back. Madison hires him. He's in Madison. And everyone's like, you're looking to go other places because news broke that he was applying in San Diego, applying in different places. He's like, no, I'm 100% committed to Madison. This is going to be my home. Remember, his wife and his 3 kids live in Chicago. So he's there in Madison, and he's there from 2021 to 2025. He gets a job in Seattle. So he's still in Seattle. Now he's in Seattle. But his wife, who's making like $360,000 a year, very well respected there at DePaul University and at the hospital, she's there with 3 kids. So he's here in Seattle, and maybe, we'll just speculate, when Barnes and previous mayor, right, get together and you sit down and go, hey, listen, my wife's in Chicago. Are you okay if I fly back and forth? No, go ahead. So Bruce Harrell's like, okay, maybe it's a deal they cut. But now someone new comes in. We need you to be here all the time. Well, that's not the deal I had. Well, it's not that on paper, I know. But, Bruce Harrell and I understood. He's got kids. I got kids. Now we're speculating. But this is not that big of a deal because this chief of police really doesn't do anything about the day-to-day cops on the street. You know that. It's normally just he's the figurehead for the mayor to represent the police in front of the community. But most cops on the street don't have much interaction with the chief of police unless there's some award ceremony or something else. He's an appointed position. They see him more, the cops on the street see him more sort of a figurehead. He's more aligned with the mayor than with them. That's what I picked up from following this thing from slightly afar. What do you think?
I think you're spot on with regard to how often the mayor needs to be here, but it has been a tremendous point of contention with how often he's gone because, as you mentioned, he's going back to visit the family in Chicago. And you're right, that was probably a pre-negotiated agreement between Chief Barnes and then Mayor Harrell. And when Mayor Wilson took over the gig, it was clearly out of the gate that this wasn't her guy, but respected him and was going to let him see how it plays out. But when you couple Chief Barnes's visits to Chicago, which were only 4 in the last 5 months, it's 6 months if you count a week shy. It's one every other month or so, or 1.5 trips. It's not like he's gone every weekend for family. Here's the problem: he has made 7 official trips as the police chief of Seattle to this last weekend when he was in Dallas at the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. He has a role as a major law enforcement figure in black figure in Black America's police department community, law enforcement community. I'm trying to say, he is oftentimes going. He's a much sought after keynote speaker. He went to a recruiting trip back in the D.C. area. Some talk about him going to his alma mater about a basketball tournament, but he was there officially to help recruit officers, which SPD needs. So when you talk about four personal trips, 7 business-related trips, 11 trips in the first 5 months of the year. It's 47 days outside of town. I mean, I understand that the chief said on Monday, I wish I had a crystal ball to know a tragic event like this at the center was going to happen. I wouldn't have been gone. But when you're gone almost every other weekend, you increase the odds of you not being here. And you said he's just a figurehead. He's the face of the organization. But if you're not here that often, it's getting more and more likely every time you're gone that something's going to happen where you need to be here and you're not. But that brings us back to the mayor. The mayor yesterday, by all accounts, Chief Barnes was pulled away from a very public vigil ceremony last night to honor those tragically lost in Sunday's shooting. He's pulled out of that last night. He then cancels an interview with a local media outlet, and then he starts calling other members of his command chain. We've heard from various sources that the chief told members of his organization that he had been fired. And now we hear this morning, the mayor that goes public. The mayor has been the chief has fired the mayor has fired the chief of police. It's hard to keep up.
Well, I'll bet you anything. We're all sort of just trying to speculate on this thing. I'll bet you Barnes was getting some pressure from either internally with news breaking externally that he travels a lot because, man, he lit into that guy. He was inches from that guy's face, right?
The South Seattle Emerald reporter, yeah.
Right. So he obviously, you don't go from, 0 to 60 in the guy's face unless you're already sort of revved up with the idea that, are you traveling a lot? People say, and maybe he was hearing stuff from, inside the Wilson administration. You're traveling too much because he got mad fast.
There's got to be some guilt involved when you realize you weren't in town when the city needed you.
Right. Plus maybe some of the other trips. What is the other part of it? If a cop, a regular beat cop, had gotten within 5 inches or 3 inches of somebody's face and did what he did, that person would be sitting on the bench for probably 30 days and then have to take a de-escalation indoctrination course, to teach you about how to handle your anger and this other stuff. And that guy would be made an example of, that's not how you react, and we all need to be professional. So I'm sure this doesn't help him. So you've got Katie Wilson with a new administration. She probably wants her own person in there. She says, please resign. And he's like, I'm not going to take that resignation package. It's not enough money. I'll wait for you to officially fire me. Now they're in a Mexican standoff where she's like, no, you resign. He said, no, go ahead and fire me. Good for Katie Wilson if she fires him. You're not a manager till you draw blood. I'm sure she's probably never fired anybody before. Now, you fire somebody, and then you stand there and take the hits, and you say, listen, this is why I got rid of him. You got to explain it. But right now, it's everybody just guessing what's going on. But as far as history is concerned, most of these guys last 2 to 6 years. They go out when the new administration comes in. And let's face it, he'd rather be, if you were him, Spike, wouldn't you rather be in Chicago with your 3 kids and your wife pulling down $350,000? And by the way, there's a job opening in Chicago, either for the superintendent or the chief of police. I guess the chief of police is leaving, and right now his position's open in about 30 days or 60 days, but they don't know whether to fill it yet until they're after the election in November. So there is a spot waiting. If he wants to try to go get it, he should probably, at this point, be applying for that job in Chicago. I think it's a chief of police job. So things could really work out for Barnes. And then Seattle could get a chance to check about 5 boxes in the DEI. You know, it's got to be a black person. If it's a lesbian, even better, or non-binary. Let's check all the boxes so that everybody feels like they're represented.
Let me ask you this about the resign or you're fired, because when Chief Barnes calls other members of the law enforcement community in Seattle and says, I've been fired, I don't think he's saying that unless the mayor says, resign or you're fired. I'm not resigning. Okay, you're fired. So then you get the city council member, Joy Hollingsworth, today saying, look, we know that the chief was asked to resign, but as far as we know, he's still the chief of police. The mayor hasn't come out and acknowledged that he's been fired. Local black leaders went this morning to speak to the mayor, 8 different members of the black community, different civic leaders, and she at that point also refused to say, I've fired the chief of police. Are they looking at what they've done? Are they trying to find a way to back out of this?
No, because you got to be really careful on this sort of stuff. You stick with the line, we've asked for his resignation. The reason is because there's a great big difference between resignation and being fired.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you ever experienced that. You know, I've been fired before. Here's what happens. They said, here's the package if you resign. And then in that, you also promise, if you take this extra little bump, that you won't sue us. Bill's little thing in there. And you're like, no, I'm going to take this. You fire me, and I leave myself open to sue you if I want. So then they know what's coming. They try to sweeten the deal to keep themselves out of court. But often, legally, we've asked for your resignation. We've asked for your resignation. They have to stick with that. He probably told his friends, because when they say, I'm asking for your resignation, that basically means you're fired. Now he's going to hold the line. He's going to make them fire him, because then he has more options available to him. He can come back. He can try to negotiate and get a lawyer in there. You can get, for whatever the dismissal reasons are. It just leaves you more flexibility. If you simply take, I resign, I ask for your resignation, that's you actively participating on signing a thing saying, I am leaving my post. You don't have as much flexibility. You not get as much money. And the PR looks a little better for you or for her. You know, who's going to end up getting some poop in the face on this? He's in a good spot.
He's
in a good spot. And he is. Because what's he want? I guarantee if I had 3 beautiful kids like that, of that age, I think the young boy's like 16 or 17 in there, just trying to guess from the picture I saw from 2021. 3 girls. It's like, you want to be home. You want to be your wife. You want to be there. And if Chicago has a job opening coming up, you want to stay in. It's not Katie Wilson's guy. You ever gotten hired somewhere from somebody and then all of a sudden the guy that hired you leaves? You've got no protection. You ever had that happen?
More often than I'd like to think back at, absolutely.
It's terrible.
Let me ask you this. If the mayor is going to fire the chief of police, she has to show cause, right? What's the cause? Is the cause because he didn't communicate properly with the city for 5 hours after a mass shooting? Is it because you're out of town 11 weeks in the first half of the year? Is it because you almost roughed up a reporter? What's the cause she's going to cite?
She might cite, she could do the anger thing. You could do not here, whatever she wants to come up with on this sort of stuff.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. If he's not in town all those weekends, I guarantee it wasn't a surprise to the mayor's office. He may have had a previous agreement with the previous mayor, but he's only been to Chicago 4 times. He's been on official police business 7 times. None of that was a surprise to the mayor at that point. Say, I'm firing you because you've been gone times we were aware you were going to be, and we agreed for you to be gone. If it's a matter of you didn't communicate with the city for 5 hours, do we know that was the direction of Chief Barnes? Was that from the mayor's office itself?
Right. Well, we don't know what's in the contract. Can you fire with cause? Do you need cause? Can you just get rid of them because you're just not getting along with the person? I don't know what's in the thing. But for all intents and purposes, she's asked for his resignation. He hasn't given it, but he's still the acting police chief. But let's remember, there's been 17 homicides in the city of Seattle this year. Okay? That's down from previous years. It's important that they hire a black chief of police, because if you are a black resident of Seattle, you are 25 times more likely to be killed than a white resident of Seattle. It's a big deal. You are 42% of victims of crime are black in the city of Seattle. So if you want to be able to feel you can look to the chief of police, because you got a white mayor, you got a black chief of police that makes people feel more comfortable, then whatever helps for comfort, that's fine, dandy. Remember when Bruce Harrell had somebody, 57 people applied, 44 were looked at. They brought 3 in, 2 black, 1 white. They bring the white guy in like the Rooney Rule in the NFL. So that guy comes in, like, okay, he's out. He went back to Maryland. So they had 2, and they end up with Barnes. They'll do the same thing again. Don't forget, this is one of the highest paying jobs in chief of police positions in the United States. $350,000 or $360,000, plus they might even have come on over here, we'll give you an extra $50K or something. So, I think this is a tiny story that's getting blown out of proportion, and everybody's taking shots at the mayor because, she's vulnerable. And when you're down, it's like MMA fight, right? Once you knock the guy down, you got to get in there and knock him out. So anybody that you see that's like, this is very irresponsible, and this really says a lot about her and her inexperience. Yeah, she's inexperienced, but now they're trying to create a little bit of friction. The city council is.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
They already have yeah, you can feel it, right? Well, why are they saying those things about her publicly? Could Barnes have done anything to stop the shooting? No. Can Barnes do anything to stop shootings in Seattle? No. So, why do they act like he's Superman or Batman with the bat light on? Where were you? I don't know.
Does she bear any responsibility for what we need to know? We've asked the questions. We can't get answers from the mayor's office. They don't have a communications director. They don't have a press secretary. So, the gap between the 6 o'clock shooting and the 11 o'clock press conference. Did you see the governor release the text messages? The folks at Center Square brought that. So the governor's saying, look, it's not me. I reached out. I could be there by 9 at 10 o'clock. Please call me. Why isn't the city being notified as to a potential active shooter still missing and unaccounted for, a suspect in a mass shooting? I mean, I know you're right about the mayor. She's inexperienced, and people are gunning for her. They smell blood in the water. But at some point, we deserve to know why the community wasn't notified of the potential danger.
Well, elections have consequences. And you get the government you deserve. And for the 2,200 and some that voted for her instead of Bruce Harrell, I hope you're happy. You get a novice in there like this. This is what you can expect. Remember Trump's first term? Remember how crappy it was? People were firing and leaving, and there was all that leaking. He was not ready. He didn't have any team. She didn't have any real team. No experience of anybody. And when Bruce left, a lot of people are like, I'm gone. They left. So you have to rehire, but who's going to come in there and want to work for her? She didn't have the political coattails that a lot of people that end up becoming mayor. You get the coattails of your city council member. You work your way up through planning parts. Then people know you. And then you go from the city council, bang. And then people understand what you're about. They get in there. They want to be a part of your administration. She comes in from, the transit riders?
Right, yeah. An organization she started. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Let me ask you this.
Team behind her.
You've been through a lot of these type experiences with local leaders and with elected officials. Yeah. Can she survive this?
What do you mean survive?
There's blood in the water. There's calls so that she can't do this job. Everything she touches seems to turn to crap. Do you think she's going to survive this?
Recall? They try to recall a mayor in the state of Washington really, really hard. Remember they tried to do that with Jenny Durkin?
Absolutely.
Didn't go in. Yeah, so it's very, very hard to recall. Does she step down? I can't imagine. Steps down? Why? Why would she do that? I mean, unless it's like I need to spend more time with my family and pursue other interests.
My husband wants to bake bread, and I got to be there to back him up.
I think this is a test of fire, and hopefully she comes out of it. She's a little stronger for it, and we're better served by a mayor who's been bruised, knocked down, and gets back up again. But, everyone's going to take the shots at the king. So this is what you get. But again, this is what people voted for. You could have gone with Bruce Harrell. He already had a bunch of years of experience, but no, right? Every 4 years, the people of Seattle throw the guy out and give us somebody new.
Amen. John Curley, thank you so much. I know you're busy. I appreciate you making the call.
My heart belongs to you.
You're my hero. All right, buddy. Be well. Good luck with your event.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. All right. Let's go to Nate Connors.
I'm here. South Center, our collision South 5 at South 188 has cleared. Had 3 lanes blocked for some time, and we're left with a hefty backup between the Boeing Access Road and 516. Seattle to Federal Way is down to a 1-hour commute. South 5 heading into Seattle, heavy from North Gateway to I-90. We cleared our earlier stall at Mercer. Linwood to Seattle, plan on 45 minutes. Linwood to Bellevue, in comparison, is 35 minutes. We've still got a disabled vehicle, South 405, right at State Route 522, parked in that toll lane. You're backed up into Alderwood. Once you get into Bellevue, 405 is heavy from 520 to Cold Creek Parkway. Another really thick backup between the Renton S curves through South Center. Bellevue to South Center, a 50-minute commute. North 5 into Seattle is heavy from the Michigan curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Everett to Marysville, close to 25 minutes. You got thick backups between 526 and 528, and northbound 529 is now bumper to bumper between Everett and Marysville. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
All right, I'm very excited to be speaking with Phil Mitchell. He is a new advertiser on the show. He owns Sunset Auto Family. Phil, welcome.
Thanks, Jake.
I want to talk about something that I cannot stress enough, how valuable this is for anybody who's looking for a car. You guys do oil changes for life. What does that mean?
Well, basically, it means if you buy a car that qualifies for oil changes for life, we're going to give you 5 oil changes a year. And they're about $150 now. Oil goes up and down, but guess what? We're going to change the oil for as long as you own that vehicle on us.
Like you're saying, oil changes are $150. They're even more if you're driving a diesel. And so you hold on to a vehicle for 10 years. That's like $10,000.
Oh, it can be even more than that. We've got a guy that's been changing his oil since 1985. He's gotten more oil changes than the car cost. And we're still changing it for him because that's what we do. We're your lifetime dealer.
And this is what people are going to get at Sunset Auto Family.
That's right. Great service for as long as you own the vehicle.
Oil changes for life. Only at Sunset Kia in Auburn, Sunset Ford, and Sunset Chevrolet in Sumner. You just get more at Sunset. And people do like that.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. If your air conditioner is barely hanging on, CM Heating has one of the best offers I've heard this summer. Right now, you can get any size high-efficiency AC system for just $179.99 a month with zero upfront costs. And here's the game changer. CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program includes lifetime repairs, annual maintenance, and even filters at no additional charge ever. Go to cmheating.com and schedule your free estimate online today.
License number CMHEAHL 751LW.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Lionel Richie. And Earth, Wind, and Fire. The tour continues. Seattle, you're invited to sing a song all night long. Lionel Richie and Earth, Wind, and Fire together in one magical night you don't want to miss. Climate Pledge Arena, August 3rd. Get tickets starting at $34 at livenation.com.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those words weren't written for history books. They were written for you. But it's hard to pursue happiness when aging is part of everyday life. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic was created to help people with overall wellness and longevity, including diabetes management, heart health, weight management, inflammation reduction, nutrition, cognitive health, hormone therapy, and more. I can tell you from personal experience, being a patient for 17 years, I have a richer, fuller life, and I'm better able to pursue my own happiness. As America celebrates 250 years of independence, give yourself the chance to reclaim yours. Independence from aging. Take control of your health before small issues become big problems. Experience a smarter, proactive approach to aging, backed by decades of experience with longevity. Do what I did and feel like yourself again. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out how at lmclinic.com.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Seattle City Council President confirms the mayor has asked Police Chief Sean Barnes to resign. Joy Hollingsworth calls that a reckless decision.
I think this point in time, this is not the appropriate call that we need to be doing as a city, and it's not sending the proper message to residents.
Hollingsworth also says she believes Barnes is still acting police chief, though sources tell us the mayor fired him. All the confusion coming as Barnes faces criticism over his leadership in the wake of Sunday's shooting at the Bite of Seattle and reports of his frequent travel. More from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
King County's former top cop says Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes' travel was simply too much. Retired King County Sheriff John Urquhart told the G and Ursula Show that Barnes spent roughly 47 days out of Seattle in about 6 months, attending conferences and events. Urquhart says big city chiefs are in demand, but the job still comes down to being physically present when crises hit.
There's lots of training you can go to, and it really takes self-control. You have to say, no, I need to stay here.
Urquhart says Seattle deserves an A-list chief, but constant turnover and political clashes make it a tough sell. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
After a months-long manhunt, a suspect in a deadly Parkland homicide is now in custody. The Pierce County Sheriff's Office says Brandon Torres Mesa was arrested in Mexico with help from the FBI and Mexican law enforcement agencies. He's accused in the May killing of 17-year-old Braylon Diaz, who was shot and killed after he was robbed of his necklace. Amazon posts more than $200 billion in quarterly revenue. That is up 20% from a year ago, beating Wall Street expectations. Amazon Web Services led the charge, growing nearly 37%. That is its best quarter in 4.5 years, powered by surging demand for artificial intelligence. CEO Andy Jassy telling investors AWS still has a lot of room to grow.
We long believed AWS could become a few $100 billion revenue business, and now believe it'll be at least double that, and very possibly be a $1 trillion annual revenue business for us in time.
Amazon stock jumped about 10% in after-hours trading. Now at 3:34, we go to Nate Connors at the Real-Time Traffic Desk.
All right, Aaron, this one brought to you by South Sound Magazine. It is a busy commute out there. Seattle to Federal Way is quickly recovering, however, from our earlier collision in South Center. So we're down to a 45-minute commute, just a half hour. This was an hour and 10 minutes, so we've got a heavy backup from the Duwamish Curve down to 516. Bellevue to South Center is at 50 minutes. Pretty solid solid backup now from 520 all the way to I-5 and South Center. You're going to thin out a bit between Cold Creek Parkway and the Renton S-curves. South Center to Bellevue, 35 minutes, and we're real thick from South Center into those S-curves. You'll clear out at Northeast 44th. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways at 45 minutes. Got a new crash at South 212 heading into Kent, blocking the right lane, and that's got you bumper to bumper to 405. You'll clear out after this. You get through this backup all the way down to Algona, where it's bumper to bumper once again into Puyallup. Tacoma to Olympia at 50 minutes. Discover the people, places, homes, and style that make the South Sound shine. South Sound Magazine. Subscribe at southsoundmag.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Well, just into the newsroom, we have the official announcement from Mayor Katie Wilson announcing the resignation of Chief Sean Barnes. In a statement, she sent a letter from Barnes saying, "It has been an honor to serve the Seattle Police Department and this city. The men and women of this department show up every single day with professionalism and dedication." It goes on to say that work is important and Seattle deserves, again, a chief. So, again, Mayor Wilson announcing the resignation of Chief Sean Barnes and now appointing Andre Sales as interim chief. The mayor also announcing a press conference will be held tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. Of course, we will be there for that. The breaking news, Mayor Wilson announcing the resignation of Chief Sean Barnes. And now to your forecast. We have sunny skies at this hour and 75 degrees currently. We'll see more sunshine tomorrow, some cooling off for Seafair weekend, with highs in the low 70s, some clouds and rain at times. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This hour of the John Curley Show brought to you by the Home Comfort Alliance. Aaron Granillo, you're still sitting in the chair, but I'm so lock the door. So if I got this straight, and I appreciate your reporting on this, there's a announcement from the mayor's office.
That's right. Yeah, she's calling a press conference for tomorrow morning at 11. But
Is she waiting for dignitaries? I couldn't help pass that joke up.
Good one, Spike. Perhaps. But no, I mean, this is obviously, we've been reporting on this all day. Every news outlet has. We had internal sources telling us that the mayor had been fired. Now we got the word that the
chief had been fired.
I'm sorry.
I started that yesterday.
Boy,
and it's contagious.
So easy to conflate them.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That the chief, Sean Barnes, had been fired. Now we have the official resignation letter from Chief Sean Barnes.
Do we have that, or we just have the mayor alluding to that?
There is at least a portion of the statement here in this statement from the mayor. It says, the men and women of this department show up every single day with professionalism and dedication. What they did in the aftermath of the Bite of Seattle tragedy reflects the very best of who they are. I am proud of them. I have deep faith in the future of this department. It goes on to say that Seattle is committed to building a department that is connected to the communities it serves. I hope this transition gives the city and this department the opportunity to return full focus to what matters most, addressing youth gun violence and preventing more tragedies. It has more in there, but that's the gist of it.
So to be clear, that is a quote from Chief Barnes. So they're
His
quoting
letter.
Chief Barnes. Yeah.
So that is, thank you for the update on that. That just boggles the mind to me personally when the chief says to his subordinates last night, "I've been fired."
Yeah. Well, and I mean, as you saw all the news today, there are many people who are not happy with this, including pretty much every council member that we've heard from so far. Let me just read you a quote from Council Member Maritza Rivera, who is on the Public Safety Committee, mind you, along with Rob Saka. But she says, this is a quote from Maritza Rivera, "The impulsive and reckless decision to fire Chief Sean Barnes is the latest in a series of missteps, including her inadequate response to serious gun violence in our city." It goes on to say, her lack of experience, her incompetence have led to poor decision-making and put the safety of our communities at risk. Again, that is just from one council member, Maritza Rivera. We've heard from several others, including Rob Saka, who called it reckless, the council president, Joy Hollingsworth, also calling it a reckless decision, saying this is not the right time to fire the chief in light of the active investigation surrounding the shooting at the Bite of Seattle. And also we have a major event coming up this weekend.
The biggest event of the year.
The Seafair.
The biggest event of every county year of Seattle. Frank Lindsay joins us now, news director.
Yeah, Aaron, I just wanted to add to what you guys were talking about with Maritza Rivera. I spoke with her just a few minutes ago, and she echoed the comments she made in her statement. And as I hung up with her, the press release from the mayor came out, and so I called Councilmember Rivera back. I said, "Have you seen this?" And she pulled it up while I'm talking to her.
Oh, so she's her response yet? Or
she's
digesting it?
She's digesting it. But what she had, she did say she's not familiar with Assistant Chief Sales, so she can't comment on his selection as interim chief. But what she had told me was about Chief Barnes. She's got no problem, she says, with him as a chief. She says he's been a great partner and has been good to work with from her perspective. And she doesn't understand, doesn't know, hasn't been told why Mayor Wilson wanted him out.
Yeah.
And so
there's been no clarification for cause from the mayor's office regarding
not this latest statement.
Maybe 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
I would imagine.
If we're lucky enough.
Yeah.
John Curley was just on with us because it's the John Curley Show, and he's nice enough to call in. He speculated that the I won't resign gave former Chief Barnes, so much leverage in this situation. If he is willing then to resign, after last night conveying to subordinates in his department, I was fired, there's a lot we don't know. And I think most of it, and I get to speculate, that's my role here at the station, is the lack of communication between the community from the 6 o'clock shooting at the Seattle Center on Sunday to the 11 o'clock press avail featuring dignitaries as backup singers. Might have been the Pips up there for all the good they did. The lack of communication, does this indicate to any of you guys, and maybe you're at liberty to speculate, that Chief Barnes possibly had a hand in why the city wasn't updated from a public safety perspective? It was my assumption, since Chief Barnes was refusing to resign, that directive to not inform the community until there was a gathering at 11 o'clock was a directive from the mayor's office.
I don't see personally. I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see what the.
We have a right to know, though, right? As
absolutely,
a public.
Absolutely. I mean, the flow of information here. The infamous delay on Sunday night, and then that barrage of news conferences we got, where by
every 5 hours after that, like I was taking a dietetic medicine or something.
And the information there, honestly, is stuff we already knew a couple hours before they came out to talk. So it's been definitely.
Well, the things it's amazing the things we still don't know. Like, for example, if we're looking for one suspect or more than one suspect, what that suspect may look like, gender, age, height, whatever, national or ethnicity. We don't know any of these things. And the chief then resigns.
We don't know why. And of course, that infamous interaction with the reporter as well. We would think that possibly could be a factor in all of this as well.
But we don't know. That's not a fireable offense.
We don't know.
We don't. Okay, thank you both, gentlemen. Yeah. Aaron Granillo, Frank Lindsay, thank you both very, very much. It's an ongoing story, and you're as befuddled as we are, and we do this for a living. So I can mention what you poor folks at home are thinking today as we go. Let's right now go to Real-Time Traffic Desk with Nate Connors. One thing we can guarantee you is that Nate will help you avoid any troubles on your way home. Nate, how's it going?
Yeah, it's you know what? It's a rough commute out there, Spike. The Mariners have our update. Let's start you with this new collision down in Kent, southbound 167 at South 212. It's blocking your right lane. It's also blocking the end of the on-ramp, causing an early merge. So traffic is just jammed up down there. And we're bumper to bumper coming off 405 to the scene. Renton to Puyallup just hit 1 hour. Seattle to Federal Way, if you want to go the I-5 route, a 50-minute commute. And we're heavy from the Duwamish Curve down to 516. Now heading into downtown Seattle, North 5, jam-packed from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. South 5, bumper to bumper from North Gateway all the way down to I-90. Southbound 99 is packed from the zoo to the stadiums, and northbound 99 is solid through the downtown tunnel. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, westbound 90 slows from Island Crestway to I-5. Westbound 520 jams up about the Arboretum to I-5. And if you're heading through Everett, North 5 is pretty solid this afternoon from 526 all the way to 528. And then northbound 529 is probably a better option, but it's stacked up as well between Everett and Marysville. Don't miss the biggest event of the year at T-Mobile Park, 50 Seasons Celebration Night on August 8th, presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets at Mariners.com. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
You know how some parts of the house don't work? Let me explain. There's that closet that you've got that when you open it up, everything falls out. Or you try to find something, you can't because it's not working. There's too much stuff in there. And how about the garage? I know some people that can't park their car in the garage because there's everything else parked in the garage. You see what I'm saying? There might be some other parts of the house where it's just packed and there's no place to store anything. So maybe you've even gone to renting one of those storage units. Well, that adds up every single month. You can't even remember what's in there. So a better investment to get parts of those house working would be Closets by Design. The consultant comes to your house. They look at the problem. They know that each one of these problems that need to be solved have to be customized. But you don't get a big customized price. You're going to get 40% off plus an additional 15% off in 18 months, 0% financing on approved credit when paid in full. I really became a believer in Closets by Design when they came out to the barn in Cle Elum. You should see the work that they did. My goodness. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's closetsbydesign.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Summer's a busy time for businesses. WaFd bank accounts are designed to work with business owners like you, stay on top of every dollar, helping manage cash flow, pay vendors, and keep operations running smoothly. Get access to digital tools to simplify banking, like bill pay, signer and non-signer debit cards, and the option to upgrade your account as your business grows. Plus, our business bankers get to know you, so when you need help, we're there. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com, member FDIC.
Jason Rance here. If your water heater is getting older, leaking, or running out of hot water, CM Heating has an affordable solution. Get a new gas or electric water heater installed starting at just $44.99 a month. With CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program, you'll get lifetime repairs and maintenance at no extra charge. Parts and labor covered for life. Plus, same-day installation is available in many cases. Schedule your free estimate today at cmheating.com.
License number CMHEAHL 750LP.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
You hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's the best time of the year at Staples, with back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school.
KIRO News Radio is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks in their preseason home opener, Saturday, August 15th.
To enter, open the KIRO News Radio app or visit mynorthwest.com/win for details.
You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances.
Enter daily from July 28th through August 3rd.
Full details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win.
That's mynorthwest.com/win.
Welcome back to the John Curley Show. I'm Spike O'Neill, filling in on this breaking news day. So just to recap, on the heels of a statement from numerous members of Seattle City Council calling Mayor Wilson's reported termination of Police Chief Sean Barnes reckless and irresponsible and ill-timed, we received a press announcement from the mayor's office just moments ago, from Office of Mayor Katie B. Wilson, that she accepted a letter of resignation from Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes. Chief Barnes was appointed by Bruce Harrell in late 2024 and has made substantial contributions to public safety in Seattle. And this is from a direct quote from Chief Barnes' resignation letter. It has been an honor to serve Seattle Police Department and this city. The men and women of this department show up every single day with professionalism and dedication. And what they did in the aftermath of the Bite of Seattle tragedy reflects the very best of who we are. I'm proud of them. I have deep faith in the future of this department and in the version of community-based policing that is taking root here. There will be a press conference tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock from the mayor's office. And I'm hoping at that point, and I can guarantee you that a press conference, there will be members of our reporting team down there to ask the mayor.
Absolutely.
What changed from last evening when the report was the asking for the chief's resignation and his refusal to do so, his then communication to his subordinates that he had been fired. That story breaking throughout the city through various news outlets and reporting sources. Something is something that we don't know, and we deserve to know. And tomorrow morning's press conference at 11 o'clock with Mayor Wilson, we'll see if we can actually get answers to these questions, because if this chief, we all assumed, at least from the opinion side of this radio station's responsibility to the community, that the mayor's decision to ask for the chief's resignation was perhaps an opportunity to grab a fall guy, someone to fall on the sword for this administration's mishandling or the city's mishandling of the post-shooting environment of Sunday evening, when the city, for 5 hours, there were people hunkered down in bars and businesses around the Seattle center. Police were still looking for an active shooter. We didn't know who or how many. We still don't at this point. And that's a genuine shortcoming. And is that a shortcoming of this police department with its responsibility to inform the city from a perspective of public safety? The chief resigns, which leads me to speculate, and I love that I get to do that perhaps there was some responsibility and some decision from within the police department itself to withhold or to hold public announcements of conditions and the situation until the inevitable 11 o'clock press conference, as opposed to notifying. Reporting today earlier from various media sources, Seattle Police were ready to make an announcement at 7:30. They were told to hold 4 dignitaries. The Seattle Officer of Information, Public Information Officer, said, look, we're holding up for the arrival of dignitaries to make this address. Mayor Wilson then said, we can't have the address. We can't do something here at Seattle Center because it's not safe. Seattle Police hadn't secured the area. And doesn't mean you can't announce to the public that there may be an active shooter in the community to update for safety and information reasons from another location. Have it at City Hall steps. If the center's not safe, issue a press release, issue a text alert to the community. All these things, these are still questions that we deserve answers to. Hopefully tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, we'll start to unravel this bag of snakes and get answers to the questions we deserve to have. It's John Curley Show. I'm Spike O'Neill.
That's right.
Brought to you by caffeine and lots of it. Let's now go to the Let's go to the traffic desk. Nate Connors, how you doing, brother?
I'm okay, Spike. It's a very busy Thursday out there, Spike. Here are some of our bigger issues. In Kent, southbound 167 at South 212, we got a collision in that right lane. It's also blocking the end of the on-ramp, causing an early merge, and so it's just jammed up down there. And we've got a bumper-to-bumper backup starting at 405. Now, once you get through this, it's wide open all the way into Algona. Renton to Puyallup, though, is a 55-minute drive. Tacoma to Olympia, 50 minutes. You're a little slow through South Tacoma, and then more scattered backups between Nisqually into Olympia. Here in Seattle, North 5, we're packed between the Michigan Curve and Ship Canal Bridge. It's 35 minutes to get through this. South 5 heavy from Northgate to I-90. Plan on 40 minutes from Linwood. Seattle to Everett, 55 minutes with heavy backups between Northgate into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett, an hour 5, heavy between Kirkland and Alderwood. And South 405 in Bothell, right there at 522, still dealing with a disabled vehicle blocking the left toll lane. Looks like a tow has finally showed up, so hopefully this will be out of your way. But you're backed up into Alderwood right now. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Hey, I want to introduce you guys to a brand new sponsor to the show. I'm very excited to welcome Phil Mitchell from Sunset Auto Family. Welcome to the show, Phil.
Hey, thanks, Jake. Nice to be here.
It's so great to have you here. I want to jump right into something that you guys offer that is such a benefit to anybody out there looking for a vehicle. You guys have 48-hour used vehicle exchange. Tell me a little bit about how that works.
Well, basically, we want to take the fear out of buying a pre-owned vehicle. So we give you 48 hours. You take the car home, you decide if you like it. And if you like it, you keep it. If you don't, you bring it back, and we try to find you something you do like.
All right, so let's say a scenario. I see something I love. I'm worried that it's not going to be there next time, so I jump on it real fast, and then I get it home to my garage, and it doesn't fit. I can bring it back?
You can bring it back, and we'll find you something that does fit. It just takes all the fear out of it. There's no more guilty feelings. You don't have to be stuck with it for 5 years or 10 years. You bring it back, we find you something that works.
Sunset Kia in Auburn, Sunset Ford, and Sunset Chevrolet in Sumner. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
When you see this in your kitchen,
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Progressive presents the Museum of You.
We begin our tour with a unique piece, a relic from the early big screen television era. Remarkable. Next, we find a juicer, which historians believe has only ever been used once. And finally, compact discs from the emo era. A rare find indeed.
Some things should be history, but until then, you could protect what's important to you and save by bundling your auto insurance with a renter's policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Santana, Oneness Tour 2026. The power, the energy. Come celebrate your favorite hits from Woodstock to Supernatural and beyond. With very special guest, the Doobie Brothers. August 6th, White River Amphitheater. On sale now at livenation.com. Santana and Doobie Brothers, Oneness Tour 2026.
Golden Crest Metals helps investors understand how physical gold and silver can be held inside qualified retirement accounts without pressure or confusion. Our team brings decades of experience in precious metals and retirement planning with a focus on clear education, straightforward pricing, and a process designed to put clients first. Why do investors choose Golden Crest Metals? Experience, transparency, and a client-first approach. Tune into The Gold Show with Kenny Michaels every Saturday at 1 p.m.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Drip Drop is a doctor-developed, proven fast hydration that helps your body and mind work better. Trusted by firefighters, medical professionals, and over 90% of top college and pro sports teams, Drip Drop is engineered to hydrate faster and more effectively than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. Stock up now at dripdrop.com and use promo code radio20 for 20% off your first order. That's dripdrop.com, promo code radio20 for 20% off your first order. Head to dripdrop.com now and use promo code radio20.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. A new alert about cyber attacks at more than 30 water plants. Minnesota and federal authorities are investigating possible Iranian hackers, although the CIA is not commenting except to say it's aware of these attacks this week, Sunday and Monday. Cyber experts are currently observing a significant increase in cyber threat actors targeting programmable logic controllers in the water and wastewater systems. No action today on President Trump's nomination of Todd Blanche to be U.S. Attorney General. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand thinks she knows why 2 Republican colleagues are blocking the nomination.
Todd Blanche isn't qualified to be the Attorney General, and even Republicans have great pause with putting him forward. And so I hope that President Trump removes him as a nomination for that position.
After the worst day on Wall Street in a year, the Dow shot up today, up 614 at the close, buoyed by Microsoft's best earnings in 18 years. This is ABC News. The Defense Department's casualty database shows 11 more U.S. troops wounded in the war with Iran since Tuesday, bringing the total number of wounded to 653. 18 have been killed in action. New claims today by Ukraine President Zelensky that the Russians used a North Korean missile for the first time in their latest strikes, and
a Russian missile crashed inside Poland today, violating NATO airspace, raising the risk of escalation and testing the alliance's collective defense posture. The Kremlin, it has not yet commented on the incident, but Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, he says there's no reason to believe Poland was actually a target.
Britt Clennett at the ABC Foreign Desk in London. From Australia, better late than never, a book was returned last week to the Kiama Public Library 150 years late. Antiquities of Athens, published in 1858, was returned by a man who found it while doing home renovations. I'm Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
It is official. Seattle's police chief is out. Reaction from City Hall coming up after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
And this one's brought to you by your Seattle Mariners. We just cleared that crash, southbound 167 at South 212th in Kent, but it's left you with a bumper-to-bumper backup coming off 405. Once you get through this backup, though, it's pretty much wide open till you get back into Algona. So Renton to Puyallup right now is at 55 minutes. We should start to see this slowly improve. Bellevue to South Center on 405, a 45-minute trip. You're solid from 520 to the VMAC, and then another real thick backup approaching the Valley Freeway over to I-5. South Center to Bellevue going the other way, 35 minutes. We're jammed up from South Center through the Renton S-curves. Seattle to Federal Way is a 50-minute drive, bumper to bumper from MLK Junior Way to 516. Here in Seattle, North 5, it's packed from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge, 35 minutes to get through this. It's a 40-minute trip from Linwood in the downtown, and we're heavy from Northgate to I-90. Everett to Marysville, 25 minutes. Hefty backup from 526 to 528. Don't miss the biggest event of the year at T-Mobile Park, 50 Seasons Celebration Night on August 8th, presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets at mariners.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes has stepped down. Mayor Katie Wilson says she received his letter of resignation today. City Council President Joy Hollingsworth says the mayor called for the chief to resign.
This is the mayor's decision on this. When council we have no authority over the firing of department heads.
KIRO News Radio's James Lynch joins us live from City Hall with more. James.
Aaron, that press release came out about 45 minutes ago. In it, the mayor says Chief Barnes has served this department and this city with dedication, and I am grateful for his service. She also said that she is appointing Deputy Chief Andre Sales to the interim chief job. He's been at the Seattle Police Department for a while and has about 20 years of experience. Her statement also included a quote from the chief. He says, "It has been an honor to serve the Seattle Police Department and this city. The men and women of this department show up every single day with professionalism and dedication. I hope this transition gives the city and this department the opportunity to return full focus to what matters most, addressing gun violence and preventing more tragedies." The mayor's promised a news conference tomorrow at 11. Reporting live at City Hall, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Now, many city council members say they did not hear from the mayor before any decisions about Chief Barnes' futures were made. Among them, Maritza Rivera. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi live in studio with that.
Aaron, Councilmember Rivera learned about the mayor's press release, which confirmed Barnes' resignation, from KIRO News Radio just moments after it came out.
It just was poor decision making based on her lack of experience and incompetency.
And she says Wilson, in that release, still didn't explain what's behind all this.
That's not how you treat your residents. This is a big deal.
Rivera says she would have had no problem with Barnes staying on as chief, and that from her perspective, he's been a good partner. Aaron?
Thank you, Frank. Now, the chief's resignation comes amid criticism over his leadership in the wake of Sunday's shooting at the Bite of Seattle. SPOG President Kent Liu tells KIRO News Radio's Jake and Spike today's resignation will not affect the investigation into that shooting.
I think there's enough hierarchy in the police department that, the departments, the line officers, we're fine, right? We're okay. Certainly sends the wrong message to the city, the people living here, right? Even nationally.
And again, that investigation is ongoing. Police are still looking for at least one more suspect. To your forecast now, we are seeing sunshine this afternoon. Tomorrow, more sunny skies. And then this weekend, Seafair, we'll see clouds roll through and highs will be in the low 70s. Right now, 75 degrees and sunny in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the John Curley Show. I'm Spike O'Neill in for John Curley. A day of developing story of the Seattle law enforcement community. The police department, SPD, announced just a few moments ago that Chief Sean Barnes has officially resigned. The mayor issued a press release, Mayor Katie Wilson, about 40 minutes ago, that she has accepted the letter of resignation from Chief Barnes. This is about almost 24 hours after it was reported that the mayor had asked the chief to resign or be fired. We've gone over that several times. It was announced that Deputy Chief Andre Sales has been appointed interim chief of police, Seattle Police Department. He's got a 20-year law enforcement career, including chief of police in Beloit, Wisconsin, which is a small town, about, 36,000?
A little over 36,000.
Yeah.
That was, and it was only last June that they announced that he was leaving Beloit. So we've heard a lot about 20 years of experience. It seems most of that, in fact, about 90% of it looks to have happened in Wisconsin. So he's been here about a year.
He was the chief of that police department, though. Things scale up. His administration is still administration. Acting Chief Sales has a career in drug and gang investigation, in tactical operations and SWAT. He's got a lot of experience he brings to the table. And I asked Aaron Granillo to hang out for just a moment because part of the speculation of Chief Barnes and whether or not he was going to be fired or was going to resign. John Curley brought up in the earlier that there is an opportunity possibly opening up in Chicago, where his wife and his children live. His wife has a comfortable, great job, great living, great position in that community. His kids are of school age. You don't want to uproot those guys. Part of the reason Chief Barnes spends so much time in other cities. So now, I'm trying to make sure I got the players labeled correctly. Acting Chief Andre Sales.
Interim might be the right
interim
word for it
interim
now,
chief. Thank you very much. I appreciate
chief,
that. So if Chief Barnes takes his traveling show over to Chicago, and if acting Chief Sales came with him from Wisconsin, I asked you about a sports analogy, and when a coach leaves, he takes the entire coaching staff with him. You have to start all over. So now that we have Chief Barnes leaving town, his resignation has been accepted. There'll be a press conference tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. Does he then, because he brought in quite a few administrative types with him when he took this job, and most new administrations in any capacity always do that.
Right.
You bring in your people.
It appears that now our interim chief Sales was likely working with Barnes when he was chief in Madison, Wisconsin, you would think.
Yes,
because Sales came over last year. Barnes comes over last year. He probably brings him along with him. So, yeah.
So, because the question now is what's next for the city of Seattle? Was it, John pointed out that a goldfish has a shelf life of 7 years, police chiefs 2 to 6. Well,
right.
This was a national search for a chief of police.
By the way, after another sort of debacle in the police department with our previous chief, with Adrian Diaz.
And that was preceded by Carmen Best, who also left. Not necessarily scandalized, but under a specter of scandal for sure.
With Jenny Durkin and the text messages and the chop and all of it. Yeah.
So if I can ask you to put on your resident of the Northwest hat for just a moment, is this a toxic job? Is Seattle Police Chief, now especially with this mayor, with the incompetency this mayor seems to have shown on almost every turn of every event that they've covered, whether it be Microsoft or Amazon, moving jobs out of town, and the mayor's tone-deaf comments toward an attitude towards major employers of this region. Then you have this police situation. Who's going to come take this job?
That's a good point. And, we had John Urquhart on earlier this morning with Gene Urso, the former King County Sheriff. And he said the city deserves an A-plus police chief. Yet, over all of the turmoil of the last, decade plus, you're right, Spike. Like, if you were an A-plus police chief, why come here now amidst all the turmoil? So who will she hire? Who will want to work with Katie Wilson? And I think if you're a resident of the city of Seattle, you're probably asking yourself, do I trust Mayor Katie Wilson to make the right hire? And who's going to want to work with her office?
There's Jake was speaking, or Jake and Spike show this afternoon, 12 to 3. Jake was talking about, he wrote a piece yesterday from our Northwest. I hope that the mayor doesn't fire the police chief because he fears who she would approve of to bring in next. Because as the city council members have said, she has complete control over hiring and firing in that department.
Right.
The city council did have to approve Chief Barnes.
True.
It was in a 9-0 approval.
True.
They obviously thought the guy was worthy of having the job and the right guy for the job. So, what's next? My first thought was, does Andre Sales, is he someone who would consider or could be considered?
A small town mayor now leading Seattle? I don't know.
The last guy was Madison, Wisconsin. That's not a big league city either.
Sure.
He didn't came from Houston or San Diego.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I don't know. It's such a moment of uncertainty in this city with regard to law enforcement and the safety and protection of this city.
With a first-time, mayor with not a lot of experience also leading the way. So, and that's what you're hearing from many city council members now. Honestly, a lack of confidence from City Hall right now. And that's not me saying it. That is every council member who has now responded, publicly at least, saying that, using words like incompetent to describe the mayor. So there's infighting right now at City Hall, and it's not pretty.
Reckless. More than one city council member labeled this decision by the mayor to terminate or ask for the resignation of, didn't terminate Chief Barnes. And I'm still waiting to hear why, resign or get fired. And from 24 hours went from I'm not resigning to I resign. There's clearly something that we don't know about yet and we need to know about. By the way, I want to squelch any rumors. Netflix Knives Out will not be filmed at Seattle City Hall next year.
Yeah.
But clearly these are City Hall or City Council members, I should say, who some of them want the job. who are going to do this mayor no favors.
Right.
Are going to allow this mayor no quarter, and nor should they.
Yeah.
We deserve to have executive leadership we can count on and trust to do the right thing, to know the right course of action, to not act recklessly, to act responsibly. And is that even possible with a mayor with so much inexperience?
Right.
There's no communications director. There's no press secretary. They got a new chief of staff in the mayor's office. I mean, John was confident. John Curley was confident that this mayor would weather the storm and be battle tested and learn from her mistakes. I don't know that I have as I don't reside in the city of Seattle, but I live and work. I work here. My income is here. I spend my time here. I visit the city more often than I visit my house. I mean, I don't know that I have any faith in this administration and this mayor in particular.
And per the Seattle law, the city council will have confirmation opportunity, right? Whoever Katie Wilson selects will have to pass the council.
Thanks for the point of clarity. Yes,
yes.
The mayor had the right to fire, and it's her decision to hire. That's someone who has to be approved by the city council.
At some point she'll have to get these people that are clearly pretty upset with her for various things back on her side enough to get whoever it is that she does choose approved.
Yeah, and I don't want to, I may allude to the fact that some of these city council members are going to want the job of mayor someday, and they're not going to cut this mayor any slack or favors. But it behooves them to find a candidate quickly for this job and to vet this candidate accordingly and approve when appropriate.
Yeah,
this candidate for the new chief of police of the city of Seattle.
It's not a secret that people like Council President Joy Hollingsworth want the job as mayor. Others like Rob Saka have been rumored to want this job. Saka's on the Public Safety Committee, and he says today that he wasn't informed that the chief was going to resign. He said he was left in the dark. Only 3 council members, according to Saka, were privy to
the mayor. That the mayor had
decision.
asked for the resignation of the chief. She didn't bother to inform the other members of the council who aren't in her corner.
Right.
Well, and I wonder about that too. You have to imagine that type of scenario plays out and has played out in other administrations. If you are a tighter ship, that conversation doesn't become public knowledge, right? Like the council doesn't know. This is something that you accomplish, and there's other administrations that all it would have looked like from our perspective as the media or as the public is a press release announcing the resignation of Sean Barnes, right? There's not a day's worth of speculation about what's going on. So I don't know. I think that factors into really the biggest critique I probably have of the Wilson administration in this scenario is the fact that you allowed your administration is that leaky, that no one's disciplined enough to keep their mouths shut when they need to be quiet.
Sometimes whistleblowers is the term used for people, and it's matter leaky is one thing, but people who see incompetence and no prospect for improvement or of professionalism or procedure from an executive office, that they say, people need to hear about this,
and not being able to control the narrative if you're the mayor as well from the jump too. I mean, from the night of the shooting, we still don't really truly know why there was that 5-hour lapse in information.
That was my main point of this whole thing was I thought if this chief of police is being shown the door because he's got some culpability and not informing the community for 5 hours, then so be it.
Right.
But there have been members of the Seattle Police Department who have said, look, we were ready to go at 7:30.
Right.
And we're told to wait by the mayor's office. That's not a statement you make lightheartedly. You better have the goods if you're going to make that kind of an accusation against this office and this mayor.
I imagine now the former chief, Sean Barnes, will do all he can to clear his name.
And his departments, who he cares for.
Exactly. I mean, you heard from the PIO on scene that night that they were waiting for dignitaries. The very next day, Mayor Wilson is on the record. She had many opportunities to either say that's the truth or to dispel that rumor, and she said, no, that was not my office's decision.
No, she said that's not my understanding.
Fair enough.
Which is such a tap-dancery political way to answer that question.
Well, I think
either I did or I didn't. They said, not to my knowledge.
I have a feeling.
I have no recollection.
Now that Barnes is out, the truth will come out eventually in a matter of weeks, if not months. He'll have some sit down with the media and he'll explain what happened that night, I would imagine. And we'll find out at least his version of the truth in the coming days.
I don't think we can wait that long. It took weeks or months for Sean Barnes to get a book deal or do whatever it might be, to come clean. If this chief of police has resigned, and the fact that the city was uninformed, and is still to this point, to your earlier comment a moment ago, point you made, we still don't know. Because from what we understand so far is the 15-year-old in custody didn't fire the shots.
Right.
That weapon didn't take lives.
Right.
The person who did is still at large. Person or persons of interest are still at large. The weapon used in this crime is still not available, not in possession of the police department. The mayor doesn't. I don't know if the mayor gets to survive this. To John's point, if the police former chief Barnes can say their office told us not to make an update until blank, then this mayor doesn't deserve to survive this, doesn't deserve to be battle tested and learn from this mistake and give the city the administration that it deserves.
Throughout this entire process, it feels like everybody has been throwing somebody else under the bus. Jayapal with her statement. She was one of the dignitaries that was at the press conference.
She was in West Seattle.
Wasn't my call.
Right.
Governor Bob Ferguson then releases his text messages in a public records request saying, wasn't my call. I was ready to go. Katie Wilson says, wasn't my call. It was the police.
We were told that the
center call.
Well, but and I've said this. I'd love to have your take on this too. We can't have a press availability at the Seattle Center. It's not safe.
Right. Why was the media there?
Well, or if that's the only place you can speak to the public is Seattle Center, that's felt so performative to me. It wants to be there at the center where the shooting took place. You want dignitaries on both sides of you. How about just the City Hall steps? Yeah. How about a text alert? How about a media alert? A media release to the city? Hey, there's a shooter we don't know about. He's stolen the thing, but there's potential danger. That just seems just unacceptable to me.
Yeah, I think, it's certainly a situation where we are all Monday morning quarterbacking what is, I imagine, a stressful situation. But what I do think also is that why not have more than one press conference, man? Like, just have the one soon as you can do it.
Sunday night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, people wanted that information.
Right, and then have your dignitaries at 11 o'clock. That's wonderful.
Because
fine.
that's what happens
Yes.
in every major situation like this. We cover the news. We see plenty of mass shootings in the news, sadly, weekly at this point, it feels like. And that's what happens. A major event happens. You get the initial response from police and whatever official is on the scene. Here's what we know so far. We'll have another press conference in a few hours with more information. It's as simple as that. And that would have avoided so much of this controversy if that was just done properly. But again, when you have a novice administration leading the charge like this, unfortunately, that's what happens.
Well, and you're absolutely right, but it's not a matter of inconvenience to the city. We deserve to.
Sure.
There's a requirement to. There's probably policy too, as other cities have shown us. Unfortunately, tragically enough, we see it far too often. That a police department can't alert the city to the potential danger of an unknown shooter potentially in our neighborhoods is unacceptable. And thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that. I know you got a lot to try to go gather with.
And by the way, there is still at least one shooter out there right now.
And one at least.
And unfortunately, this whole fiasco is taking away from the story itself, which was a tragedy in the heart of the city of Seattle, where 3 people lost their lives, 2 innocent bystanders, toddler was shot. And how much have we talked about that today?
Right.
Well, thank you. And I want to turn our attention to a piece from South Seattle Emerald. By the way, I was telling Jacob, they're climbing up the ranks of attention in Seattle. The reporter who confronted Chief Barnes at that press avail, where Chief Barnes said he didn't lose his temper, he didn't get heated, it was passionate. But that may be enough grounds for why he was the straw that broke the camel's back toward his resignation. South Seattle Emerald has a piece, and I'm going to, Marcus Harrison Green, who is I believe the founder of South Seattle Emerald, makes a great point about violence didn't come to Seattle, and I'm a quoting vector. Gun violence didn't move to Seattle Center, our attention did. And he cites the various gun violence in this community and asks, why isn't the outrage there for the other communities? Does the city's attention, the media, all of us, and we may be guilty of it as well, focus when it's Seattle Center, when it's 250,000 people coming to the center for one of the greatest festivals in America and a tradition in Seattle's part of every Seattle summer. We need to have the same care for and focus on and outrage to the shootings that are everywhere in this city. Yeah. The communities of less opportunity, communities of color around the community. We have far too much gun violence. And to Chief Barnes' credit, there have been less homicides than the previous year, and the city seems headed in the right direction. That's one of the reasons I was an advocate for Mayor Harrell was that, he's not perfect. We're waiting for perfection. We're never going to get there. And the city's just, got to have change. We're so quick. Every 4 years, give me somebody new. And it's so much so that we elected, and it wasn't even the socialist elements of Katie Wilson that scared most people. It was just the blatant inexperience. None of the issues facing Seattle and the concerns over this mayor and her administration are the priorities of a socialist agenda. It's the incompetency to do the day-to-day governing of the city. It's the inexperience. It's not the social, it's the inexperience that scares the hell out of us.
Well, she's going to face a lot of questions tomorrow. Again, that press conference is set for 11 o'clock. Of course, we will carry that live, and we'll cover it throughout the day as well.
Thank you, Aaron Granillo. Now to the real-time traffic desk. Nate Connors, how we doing out there, buddy?
Hey, it's a rough one. Seattle Sports has the update. Seattle to Everett just hit 1 hour. We're solid from Northgate through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, an hour 15. It's solid from Bellevue all the way to Alderwood. South 5 heading into Seattle is packed from Northgate to I-90. Linwood to Seattle, plan on 50 minutes. North 5 jams up between the Michigan Curve and Ship Canal Bridge. 35 minutes to get through this. Southbound 99 heavy from the south end of the Aurora Bridge to the stadiums. Northbound 99, you're thick from Soto, almost from the West Seattle Bridge, really, into and through the downtown tunnel. Both directions of 405 are jam-packed through South Center. Seattle to Federal Way, 50 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, a 50-minute commute. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. This is a test of your emergency alert system.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Not all roofs are created equal, and not all warranties are either. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Right now, take advantage of free lifetime Golden Pledge warranties on all GAF shingle installations and save up to $3,000 or choose 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Summertime savings won't last forever. Protect your home with a roof you can count on for decades. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
Insulation rebates from PSE are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSE insulation rebates last year. More than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSE trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth.
If you're 5 to 10 years from retirement, you do not have the time to deal with a market downturn.
With Mark Stimson and Casey Elkins.
It's important that you know what the rules are, because if you don't, you can make some tremendous decisions that could adversely affect you, and you may not be able to go back and fix it.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth, Saturdays at 11 a.m., right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk, Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. He is now former Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes. Katie Wilson says she accepted his resignation letter today after requesting that Barnes step down. City Council members are speaking out and criticizing the decision. Among them is Maritza Rivera, says she was blindsided by the chief's departure.
When I got home, getting emails from residents asking me, from my friends, asking me, I heard this, is this true?
Council member Rob Saka says he was also left in the dark.
I think a decision of this impact, severity, and consequence should have been communicated in advance to all 9 council members.
In a statement from former Chief Barnes, he says it's been an honor to serve the Seattle Police Department, and he says he has deep faith in its future. Mayor Wilson has appointed Deputy Chief Andre Sales as interim chief. She'll introduce him at a news conference at 11 o'clock tomorrow. We will, of course, be carrying that live. Other news we've been tracking today, a major breakthrough in the case of 17-year-old Braylon Diaz, who was killed in Parkland back in May. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon with the updates.
Detectives working with the FBI and authorities in Mexico tracked down suspect Brandon Torres Mesa and brought him back to the U.S. You might recall Braylon was shot and killed after a group of people in a car pulled up to him and stole his necklace. Right now, Torres Mesa is in custody. 2 other suspects were arrested back in June.
Amazon crushes its earnings reports. The company pulled in over $200 billion in revenue last quarter. That is 20% more than a year ago. Cloud computing was the company's big winner. Amazon Web Services grew nearly 37%. That's its fastest pace in 4.5 years, fueled by investments in artificial intelligence. Now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, Aaron, it is a really busy afternoon out there. Seattle to Everett is a 1-hour commute, but it's an hour 15 from Bellevue to Everett. Once you get to Everett, Everett to Marysville is a half-hour trip. We're packed from 526 all the way to 528, and northbound 529 also packed between Everett and Marysville. Northbound 9 has 5 miles of backups between Clearview and South Snohomish, which is unusual. Probably a lot of folks trying to avoid that I-5 backup. South 5 heading into Seattle, heavy from Northgate to I-90. Linwood to Seattle is up to 55 minutes. Linwood to Bellevue in comparison is 40 minutes. It is slow between Alderwood and Bothell. Then once you get into Bellevue, South 405 is packed from 520 all the way to the Renton Landing. After Cold Creek Parkway, it'll start to thin out for you. But then another hefty backup between the Valley Freeway and I-5 through South Center. So Bellevue to South Center, plan on 45 minutes. North 5 through Seattle, jam-packed from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. And Tacoma to Olympia, we're pushing an hour, 55 minutes with 3 backups. South Tacoma, a little bit through DuPont, and again between Lacey and Olympia. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
To your forecast now, we are seeing a quintessential Seattle summer afternoon, high 70s, sunny skies, and come tomorrow, more sunshine. Highs will be in the low 80s. Clouds and possibly some light rain for Seafair on Saturday and Sunday. Right now, 77 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Start your day with solutions, not problems. KIRO 7, pinpoint weather and real-time traffic every 10 minutes. From storms to backups, whatever you run into, you'll be prepared. Stay up to the minute every 10 minutes. KIRO 7, pinpoint weather and real-time traffic only on KIRO 7 News in the morning.
All right. This sounds very Anchorman. Nice 70s news riff. This hour of the John Curley Show brought to you by Bucky's Auto Repair. Bucky's Auto Repair.
I'm Spike O'Neill.
I'm Spike O'Neill.
Yeah.
He's gotta read anything you put in front of him. Oh my gosh, that's a newsman. To recap, folks, if you're just joining us, welcome. I'm Spike O'Neill, sitting in for John Curley today. John's taking some time to do the great work that he does outside of this arena to help various worthy causes, raise as much money as possible through his out-of-this-world auctioneering skills. He'll be back for you guys as quickly as we can get him back in here. To recap, announced a little over an hour ago, the mayor of Seattle, Katie B. Wilson, has accepted the resignation letter of Chief of Police Sean Barnes. Chief Barnes, it was reported yesterday, had been asked to resign by the mayor. The chief, by a lot of accounts that we had sources coming in the KIRO newsroom, Chief Barnes refused to resign and was told he was fired. He then conveyed that message to various subordinates. We got that information, but now there'll be an 11 o'clock press conference tomorrow morning at the mayor's, at her convenience, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, probably down at City Hall, that will answer a lot of questions, I hope, because we have a lot of questions about how this went from a you're fired to I resign, and still questions about the city's lack of information on the heels of Sunday's shooting at the Seattle Center, the gang-related mass shooting at Seattle Center on Sunday. They left 3 dead. 2 of them were innocent bystanders, 4 wounded, including a 2-year-old. All those victims are home out of the hospital, including the 2-year-old, and expected to make complete recoveries. Interim Chief Andre Sales has been appointed by the mayor. He will be in attendance tomorrow morning. So let's turn our attention a little bit elsewhere as we there's so much more to talk about, but these stories tend to take over the day, as they rightfully should. If you're a shopper in Seattle and you'd like to, we all know what grocery prices have gone through the roof. I think it's a 13% increase in grocery prices from last year. One of the leading indicators of inflation is food costs. So you cut corners where you can, you save money where you can. Grocery Outlet is a discount grocer in our area. It's been announced that more than 12,000 pounds of bacon, so clearly more than one person involved here, 12,000 pounds of bacon sold at Grocery Outlet in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho have been recalled. This is the Royale brand of smoked bacon. They refer to it as NRTE, not ready to eat, because there is already pre-cooked bacon that people buy. But if you bought bacon at the Grocery Outlet from the Royale brand of the not ready to eat smoked bacon, it has been recalled. It was imported from Canada. They fear it did not receive proper inspection, so we want to make you aware of that. Taco Bell, the center of an explosive story, if I may borrow, from the irreverent. Taco Bell was the first sources of the cyclospora.
Yeah, thank you.
And cyclosporosis was the technical term for what was happening to you in your bathroom if you got there in time. So Taco Bell has been the kind of the face, the franchise face of this outbreak, but we have come to learn that it was processed lettuce from a mostly, and I believe exclusively, a Mexican supplier of processed packaged lettuce under the Taylor Farm brands and others, many brands that are populated in stores throughout our region, from Kroger to Albertsons to Costco to Whole Foods, all these different brands. So we're very, very leery of vegetables. We've been made aware of how important it is to wash our produce, whether it's prepackaged or in general, because this cyclospora outbreak is affecting, I think, 34 states now. One in 100 Michigan residents is suffering from this ailment of cyclosporosis. But Taco Bell says, look, we want to win back your love. We have a plan. Taco Bell has a plan to win back customers after this outbreak, because they were the victims of a supplier who didn't meet standards. And a lot of people are speculating, including Taco Bell, that federal cuts to various government oversight agencies tasked with food safety, cuts were made. Task forces were reduced in size. Long story short, Taco Bell wants you back, and they're offering deals. Like
$1 Mexican pizzas, which are apparently one of their top-selling items. They usually
and often hard to get, hard to find.
Oh, okay, yeah. Usually, you're going to pay $5.60 something for one of those, and so it's a temporary deal. That's the main one. I think there's a couple other items.
Butter
that
chicken
might be
tacos
discounted.
are coming back.
That's right.
Now, I have to admit, I don't do a lot of drive-through. I don't do a lot of Taco Bell.
Oh, okay.
It's my firm belief that every time someone hands you food through a window, you're shaving a day off the end of your life.
Okay.
It's not a scientific study. I don't have Fauci backing on this.
Yeah.
But it's my belief that it doesn't do us as a culture any good to eat food that we handed through a window. We're too sedentary, and processed foods aren't great. This is no knock on Taco Bell. They're no better or worse than any other fast food chain.
Yeah.
But Taco Bell says, look, we're the ones that got the black eye of branding from this outbreak starting at our locations. We're the first to pull all lettuce from our products, all cilantro. You couldn't get guacamole at a Taco Bell. Do you know if those products, I know you're a fan.
Yeah. So
have they returned?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't believe they've.
Text us right now, 888-973-5476. The Marcus Casinos text
from
line.
the
Should
Taco
Jacob
Bell
start on the way home? Should he stop on the way home?
If you're in the Taco Bell drive-thru right now, let us know.
Can you get cilantro?
No, I mean it isn't. I suppose to me it would be. I think it's interesting that the items they are offering deals on, I don't see any lettuce.
Those exactly.
So
they should put on the
they've
box.
highlighted some items that you can get. That
Mexican
have no
pizza
lettuce in
still
them.
lettuce free since 1998.
I think it's. I think Taco Bell's getting away pretty good here. If you think back to, and I suppose there's a difference of severity here, right? But the Wendy's E. coli years back, serious issues, and also I think people stopped eating at Wendy's for a long time, and maybe still don't go back because they are that upset as perhaps they should be. I think people seem more aware, or there's more news coverage, or there's a certain subset of the population that is interested in being angry at a certain administration and their policies that I think Taco Bell gets people less angry at them over this because people are more aware of the nuance to it.
This problem goes up the food chain further than Taco Bell, if you'll allow.
But yes, I'm a Taco Bell fan, and to your point, I also I don't go through the drive-thru, but that's only because I love going inside a Taco Bell and playing on the giant food iPad that they have.
Do you have self-ordering kiosks kind of things?
And it's this massive screen, and I find the drive-thrus, if nothing else, stressful because there's too much on the menu, and I don't know. I want to peruse. It's such an embarrassing thing to admit about myself.
No, that's an honest assessment. I hate drive-thrus. When I do go, I inevitably get behind a guy who's feeding a family of 20 inside
you just don't like
a van.
how long you have to
I'm
wait.
sitting there, they're in 5 bags to the guy right in front of me.
Well, hopefully you're not hopefully you're not behind me in line in the store, because I'm just looking, salivating over all the options.
What can you tell me about the crispy Rapperito, the double crunch? What can you tell me about that? Can't tell you anything. I'm a machine. There's another list we want to get to.
And I don't know that we have time for it, but we can tease.
Okay.
There's a Time magazine, with all these recalls
and food safety is a concern.
New parasites that we're learning about
every day.
It is a list, 10 foods that food safety experts never eat, and I'll present them to you, Spike, and I want to know which ones you're most disappointed to hear that item is on this list.
So if you're ready to put something in your mouth, wait. Okay?
Yes,
you have to wait for a few minutes. Don't eat that yet. We'll tell you if it's scary or safe We'll come back right
That's
after
right.
these. Let's throw it to.
That's a tease.
Oh, yeah, it's a tease, baby. You know it is. I love doing this. Nate Connors at the Real-Time Traffic Desk.
Thanks,
Speaking of
Mike.
tease.
Yes, sir. Seattle Sports has our update. It is so busy out there today. Bellevue to Everett has gone up to an hour and 25 minutes, and we're solid from I-90 all the way to the Alderwood interchange. And then you're going to join the North 5 backup. Seattle to Everett, 1 hour, and I-5 heavy from Northgate all the way into Mill Creek, and it's really thick through Shoreline. Everett to Marysville is a half-hour commute. South 5 heading into Seattle, jam-packed from Northgate to I-90. Linwood to Seattle just hit 1 hour. Southbound 99, a good alternate choice. It is heavy, though, from the Aurora Bridge down to the stadiums. Northbound I-5 is packed from Albro Place now to the Ship Canal Bridge. 45 minutes to get through this. Northbound 99, I don't know if it's better or not. It's bumper to bumper from the West Seattle Bridge all the way through that downtown tunnel. Seattle to Federal Way, 40 minutes with our usual backup between Interurban Avenue and State Route 516. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we are meant to live free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if the natural effects of aging are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from aging. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic has been treating the undesirable effects of aging for nearly 30 years. They have more clinical experience with actual patient care than any longevity practice in the country. I've been a patient for 17 years. Wow, time flies when you got a lot of energy. I don't know where I'd be today without longevity. Longevity Medical Clinic was started so people can get back to living life on their own terms, walking, working, exercising, and enjoying the moments that matter most. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
All right, I'm so excited to be talking with Phil Mitchell. He's a new advertiser to the show. He owns Sunset Auto Family. Phil, welcome.
Thanks, Jake.
You guys offer something that I think is so valuable. We have so many listeners in our audience who are business owners and a lot of people who are driving commercial vehicles. You guys are basically like a perfect silent partner because you offer repairs for life on these commercial vehicles. Tell me about that.
Well, basically, repairs for life means any vehicle that we repair for over $250, we're going to cover that repair for as long as you own the vehicle. So if you got a commercial fleet and you put a transmission in your 250,000-mile truck, we're going to cover that for life.
And you think about the value added there for a small business owner who is trying to stretch every single mile out of these vehicles.
You don't even have to buy the vehicle from us to get the repairs for life. Basically, we want to service your entire fleet. So if you bought your fleet from somewhere else, let us service it. We'll give you repairs for life. We're going to save you thousands.
Love it. Only at Sunset Ford and Sunset Chevrolet in Sumner. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can be financially draining too. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare so patients can focus on healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $3 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can make a direct impact. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel and Spa in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of hope and inspiration, celebrating local cancer survivors. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
KIRO News Radio is your chance to win 2 tickets to see Santana and the Doobie Brothers White River Amphitheater August 6th. Head to mynorthwest.com/win to enter and see contest rules. That's mynorthwest.com/win for your chance to win.
Welcome back to the John Curley Show. I'm Spike O'Neill in for John Curley. And as we told you before the break, Taco Bell's trying to win back your love with $1 Mexi pizzas and butter chicken tacos. But there's a list from Time Magazine of the 10 foods that safety experts say you should never eat. Now, I've not looked at this list yet.
Okay.
You're going to share with me and the audience who's now holding food in their hand, waiting to eat or not
waiting
eat.
for my permission.
So you tell me what I can no longer safe for me to eat according to health experts.
We'll start with the obvious one: raw milk and raw milk cheese. It seems to be coming back into style somehow.
Well, because our director of Health and Human Services is saying raw milk, and this is the guy who works out in the sauna with jeans on, so take that for what you will.
So that one,
you're right. Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't think that one surprises anybody.
Yeah.
This one, I also don't think is necessarily a surprise, but I do think it bums some people out. Raw oysters and shellfish.
I won't stop.
Yeah.
I won't
stop you.
stop.
Okay, we teased. We're going to find out which one of this 10 you're the most disappointed to see.
Or I'm just going to ignore their warnings.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I have an iron constitution.
Okay.
I mean, I was raised in Baltimore with processed foods and microwave whatevers.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, all the oysters I get my hands on.
Uh-huh.
I mean, seafood and shellfish, especially, is big where I'm from, and we're used to it.
So hopefully whatever parasites you're at risk of.
Take a good look at it. Lift up the snot ball and say, okay, there's nothing moving. It's mine. Get it down.
Another, obviously, huge around here, sushi rolls. Anything raw and undercooked, you're running a higher risk.
Well, that's when you got to go up to a place. You don't trust gas station sushi. I shouldn't be the guy that has to tell you that.
Yeah, just know.
Right.
And actually, the expert in this piece says he still eats it, but he looks at it like really closely because sometimes they're visible.
Do you remember the social media influencer about a year ago in town?
Oh, that's right. Yes, yeah.
That had visited a local sushi place and got one of those with some kind of wiggly something or other in his sushi.
Well, and that could have even been a glitch in the video or something, but people got real upset or really
and that
worried.
business almost went under, and people had to rally around that local vendor, local business owner who does a reputable job putting good food on your plate.
Undercooked pork. Just cook your stuff all the way.
If anybody doesn't know about undercooked pork at this point in time, Time Magazine.
No one in the audience saying, "No, that's my favorite." Undercooking my pork.
Pig sushi? I can't have pig sushi. What? I don't mean to be dismissive of folks, but a lot of people need to hear this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't assume that everybody knows that you got to be careful how you cook pork. And I got my food service vendor's license reading, food handlers vendors.
Yeah.
And I learned all about temperatures, what temperatures foods need to be cooked at, need to be served at, need to be stored at. That's really important. The most valuable tool in your kitchen is a meat thermometer.
I'll run through some of the other ones real fast. Sprouts, apparently.
No danger there. I won't eat them.
Okay, good. Yeah.
No, clean them.
Pre-cut fruits and vegetables. Anything that's pre-cut, you're running a little bit of risk just because that's a processing element, and
you're counting on the
cleanliness,
the diligence of those preparing your stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Raw eggs. I don't know that nobody's like really
until Apollo Creed agrees to our rematch. I'm not eating raw eggs.
Or if it's in your cookie dough, I guess that's the real thing.
Oh,
that's where it gets people.
No,
I think
you're right. I do have to sample a little cookie dough. That's a good point.
Undercooked hamburgers. That's a little more relatable to me, I think, than like something like undercooked pork. Just because people do something. You got to get that a little bit. Don't treat it like a steak.
When you go to a good restaurant and they've got a good burger on the menu, they ask you how you want it cooked.
True. Yeah.
I don't know if they're even allowed. You can't say, medium rare on a burger. I don't think you're even allowed to do that anymore. They're not allowed to serve that anymore.
Yeah. It's got to be careful with that one. Potlucks and picnic foods. There's one of these experts that just says, like, I just don't trust regular people in their kitchens.
I got to tell you, that might be the smartest thing on this list. We could have just began and ended there.
That's true. The one
potlucks, because you don't know who you're dealing with, and they don't mean harm.
Yeah. I'll say, I think the one that surprised me the most on this list was cantaloupe. They say that the nature of the cantaloupe skin, it's so kind of ridged and stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how well you wash it. You just can't get, if there's something on there, you're not going to be able to get it off. So
and then it's cutting it with a knife carries the bacteria into the fruit.
That's what this expert says, so he avoids that one entirely. Anyway, so is it still, let's see, oysters for you that you're
I will never stop eating oysters.
Yeah,
it's the nectar of the god, man. Okay. Taylor Shellfish in town. Yum.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yum.
Yeah.
It's not on a rock, baby.
They're a little more expensive than they used to be. What was it? Taylor used to have like 25-cent oyster nights. Or
used to be
like
it used to be a buck a shuck. A lot of places do that, but even that's hard to find these days. We used to get bushels from the fishermen, from the oystermen. Put them in our sink over the weekend when I was living with two other guys before I met a woman that cared. And we would literally have in our kitchen sink a water, ice, and a bushel of oysters, and we would just shuck them all weekend long.
Yeah.
And throw a trash can in the kitchen for the shells.
Yep.
That's good living.
Glad you survived.
Me too. Thanks, man. All right, folks. We'll have a recap for you when we come back at the 5 o'clock hour, the top of the hour news with all the updates regarding the mayor of Seattle and the announcement today that Chief Barnes is no longer Chief Barnes in Seattle. Nate Connors with the Real-Time Traffic Desk. How we doing, buddy?
It's a rough one. Bellevue to Everett, an hour, 20 minutes. It's solid from I-90 all the way to that Alderwood interchange. Seattle to Everett, just under an hour at 55, and it's heavy from Northgate all the way into Mill Creek. Again, really thick there through Shoreline. Everett to Marysville, plan on a solid 25-minute trip, and it's solid from 526 all the way into Marysville. South 5 are heavy from Northgate to I-90. It's 1 hour from Linwood. North 5 packed from the north end of Boeing Field to the Ship Canal Bridge. 45 minutes gets you through this. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, 35 minutes on 520, closer to 25 on I-90. Bellevue to South Center, 45 minutes, heavy from 520 to the VMAC. Enjoy that little break as it gets real thick again from 167 over to I-5 along South Center. And northbound 405, we're bumper to bumper from I-5 and South Center through the S-curves. South Center to Bellevue is at 45 minutes. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Holy smokes! The On Cruise Adventures Rick Riz Show.
What happened at the ballpark yesterday?
Sparky's sitting on my scorebook here, my cat is.
Friday mornings at 8:15 on Seattle's Morning News.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Download the KIRO News Radio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO News Radio app.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Rev up your summer at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Explore the new British bike exhibition, professional level race simulators, and mark your calendar for Tacoma Cars and Coffee or family drive-in movie nights. Plan your visit now at americascarmuseum.org.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. A government report today shows that from April to June, the U.S. economy grew less than analysts were expecting.
And the Commerce Department also says overall economic growth is slowing down. GDP increased by an annual rate of 1.5% in the second quarter of the year. Keep in mind, though, consumers power the economy, and consumer spending has been very resilient. One sign that we are seeing in this data is that consumers are dipping into their savings to help pay for some of these higher prices.
ABC's Elizabeth Schulze. The federal government is warning communities about cyber threats to water systems after 30 plants in Minnesota were hit with cyber attacks. Multiple U.S. officials tell ABC News the attacks may be linked to Iran. Colin Gray, the father of Georgia teenager Colt Gray, who carried out a deadly mass shooting at his high school, has been sentenced to 15 years in prison. Prosecutors say he provided the rifle used in the 2024 attack, where 2 students were killed. This is ABC News. 10 people are facing charges for alleged locker room hazing incidents at a high school in Wyncote, Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia. ABC's Armando Garcia reports.
4 coaches and 6 players on the Cheltenham High School football team have been indicted by a grand jury after a 15-year-old student told one of the coaches he had been jumped by his teammates in the locker room in September 2025.
The juvenile victim described the incident as being punched, kicked, and stomped in the head and the groin with cleats, forcing him to curl up to protect himself and his head.
The district attorney says the alleged high school attackers also used a broomstick against the victim.
There has been reluctance by most parties, adults and juveniles, to tell what they knew, what they saw, what they heard.
Armando Garcia, ABC News, New York.
The school superintendent says those responsible are being held accountable through the criminal justice system. The Trump administration today announced a new campaign encouraging military veterans to become truck drivers. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Seattle's police chief resigns. The latest from City Hall after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
It is a busy one today, Aaron. Let's see. Bellevue to Everett, an hour and 20-minute commute, and we're solid from I-90 all the way to that Alderwood interchange. Seattle to Everett, just under an hour at 55 minutes. It's heavy from Northgate in through Mill Creek. So South 5 heading into Seattle, heavy from Northgate to I-90. But Linwood to Seattle taking you an hour. This is just a real thick backup. Head over to 99. That'll save you some time, but it is packed prior to the Aurora Bridge down at the stadiums. North 5, we're heavy from the north end of Boeing Field now to the Ship Canal Bridge. 45 minutes to get through this. Northbound 99, you're bumper to bumper from the West Seattle Bridge to the stadiums. That tunnel has cleared out. Seattle to Federal Way at 35 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, a 45-minute drive. It's also 45 minutes from Tacoma into Olympia. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. The resignation of former Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes is not sitting well among many city council members. Council President Joy Hollingsworth says now's not the right time to replace the police chief in the wake of Sunday's shooting at the Bite of Seattle.
When a city is grieving and you are coming off of an emotional and traumatic experience, to make leadership changes in this moment can seem very irrational and a little bit reckless.
Not yet clear why Mayor Katie Wilson asked Barnes to resign. Councilmember Maritza Rivera.
I think this was poorly handled and it shows for inexperience. I think the whole situation has been amateur, and I can't imagine how this looks or feels to our residents.
Now, Mayor Wilson has called an 11 o'clock news conference for tomorrow when she is set to introduce interim Chief Andre Sales. He joined Seattle Police just last year after serving as chief of police in Beloit, Wisconsin. Major breakthrough in a Pierce County homicide investigation. The sheriff's office says 21-year-old Brandon Torres Mesa was arrested in Mexico in connection with the fatal shooting of 17-year-old Braylon Diaz in Parkland back in May. Diaz was shot and killed after being robbed of his necklace. Torres Mesa now back in the U.S. He'll be extradited to Washington to face charges. State Supreme Court rules Washington State University had a legal duty to protect a freshman who died from alcohol poisoning during a fraternity hazing ritual back in 2019. Here's KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
Washington's Supreme Court says WSU can be held liable in the hazing death of Jolene Houtz's 19-year-old son, Sam Martinez.
I remember covering my head with my arms and sinking to the pavement on my knees and wailing until I was hoarse.
Her son's death led to the passage of Sam's Law, which requires university employees in our state to report hazing. And this 5-4 ruling from the state's high court allows his family's wrongful death lawsuit to go to trial. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
University says its legal counsel will review and analyze the court's decision before determining what to do next. To your forecast now. Sunshine at this hour. More sunny skies for tomorrow. Highs for Friday will be in the low 80s. Come this weekend, temperatures dropping down to the low 70s. We'll see clouds and even some showers at times. Right now, 77 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome to Hour 3 of the John Curley Show. I'm Spike O'Neill sitting in for John Curley today. Well, thank Aaron Granillo for the news desk and Jacob for helping out producing the show today. Andrew, of course. Great job as always. Music's wonderful. Aaron Granillo, did you say there's a chance of cloud and rain Saturday, Sunday?
Yes, sir.
At Seafair?
Yeah, could see the low show.
So a low, that's right, they do. They move the show lower to the deck, which is nice. I was watching the Blue Angels actually this afternoon. They had a little bit of a flyover today. Between 3 and 4, they had a full formation, 1 through 6 jets involved in the practice. I saw them fly right over the station.
You had time to go outside today?
Between the end of Jake and Spike and then the John Curley Show,
okay.
I spent 8 minutes on the sidewalk out front, looking up. They flew over in the missing mayor formation, which is a nice dedication, custom show for Seattle here. Hope you got the joke.
Love that.
There's no greater feeling, man, than these guys when they come to town and that the sound of the jets and the precision and the expertise that's shown and the crowd loves it. I know there's There's a movement in town to not have the Blue Angels here anymore. There's a billboard. I'm hoping they can fly over like they did in Florida and let the jet wash take that billboard down. I understand people's concerns, but it's a tradition I hope doesn't go anywhere. I'm glad to be that we're still a part of their world.
Yeah, I grew up in Seward Park. Those Blue Angels would fly right over my house. They would wake me up every July, every August. I'd be like, yep, there they are.
Wake you up in the afternoon because you're a teenager.
Exactly. Of course.
Yeah.
I feel like they arrived a little earlier back in those days, but perhaps...
You mean in the day, you mean? During the day, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but perhaps I was just sleeping until like noon as a teenager. I guess that's possible.
When we had our home my wife and I had our home on Queen Anne, our first home together, and they would fly over Queen Anne Hill, and I swear you could look up and look into the cockpit of these jets as they come over in their, they're not inverted completely, but it's kind of a side view and you could see the gas matter.
I remember this. Yeah, same.
It's something I hope we never lose, and they're the greatest thing going. Tomorrow, 3:15 to 4:30, a full show performance warm-up on Friday. Same on Saturday. Same on Sunday, 3:15 to 4:30. And as has been mentioned, there's no closure of I-90. Thanks, Sully, giving us those details, right? Because they've changed their flight pattern. They no longer have to close down I-90 to view the Angels over the lake.
Oh yeah, I think it was Sully that was saying if you time it just right, you could maybe watch the performance from the light rail.
You got to be on the light rail, but you really got to time it because you're going to be across the lake for about 80 seconds, if I'm not, and they have to fly over just at that moment. But it'd be a pretty cool way to see the Blue Angels. It's going to be nice. Thanks, Aaron. To recap the news of the day, as the day has evolved, we woke up this morning with news that the Seattle Chief of Police, Sean Barnes, had been fired by Mayor Katie Wilson. This is fallout from Sunday's gang-related mass shooting at Seattle Center. Then it was, as the day went forward, there was talk from local black community leaders who had a meeting with the mayor this morning. Our own Luke Ducey was down covering that news information as we got it from you, where they warned the mayor that this was a bad idea and a bad look, and they asked the mayor to reconsider her, at that time, reported firing of Sean Barnes. But then as the day moved on and we all had questions about who knew what, when, where, why didn't we hear any of this sooner, blah, blah, blah. It was announced almost 2 hours ago by Mayor Wilson's office that she had accepted the resignation letter of Chief Sean Barnes. In that letter, which a portion of which was quoted by the mayor's office when they made they announced the press release, that the mayor had, and I won't paraphrase the chief's letter, the portion of his resignation letter, but to say that the mayor will have a full press conference tomorrow morning. Since the mayor's announcement that she has accepted the resignation letter of Sean Barnes, various city council members who had just moments prior to the mayor's announcement of the resignation letter had said that this was a terrible idea from the mayor. As far as they knew at that point, various city council members said, as far as we know, the mayor has asked for the resignation letter. As far as we know, he is still, Chief Barnes, still the chief of police in Seattle. We're reading and reporting these quotes from Seattle city council members, and 2 minutes later, we get this information that the resignation has indeed been accepted. Again, 11 o'clock press conference tomorrow morning. Our own KIRO News reporters will be in the room asking the questions you want answers to, like who knew what when on Sunday night and why wasn't that information conveyed to the public?
I'm intrigued to or I should say maybe I'm cynical about how many answers we'll really get in this situation, right? But particularly based on the press release, Katie Wilson seems to be framing herself as, they're all saying nice things about each other to some extent, right?
And that's go ahead. I'm sorry.
And it's also this is a personnel issue, right? So and oftentimes the employer is very hesitant to say anything specific about the nature of their parting ways with a particular employee.
That's fair. But my questions aren't about why you fired him or
fair
what
enough.
to.
Okay.
My questions are, because it's been reported that as of 7 p.m. At 7:45 p.m. SPD told the reporters on site at Seattle Center that they were holding any information pending the arrival of dignitaries. Mm-hmm. I want answers to that. Why Chief Barnes was asked to resign, whether it was too much time out of town, whether it was, aggression toward a reporter on Monday's press conference, whether it was failure to notify the community. Was that the police department's decision? Mm-hmm. Was that the mayor's office decision? I want to know why we weren't made aware of the potential danger of the community. Those are the questions I want answers to, and I hope that we'll get those as soon as possible.
We also, just on this topic, about one piece of news that comes out of it is that they do have to announce an interim chief, who we now know the name of as Andre Sales. The Seattle Times just within the last few minutes has posted a story with a little bit of background. We already had looked up his
bio,
resume
on the Seattle Police Department website
from Beloit, Wisconsin. The Seattle Times has confirmed what we speculated, which is, he was just down the road, just down I-90 from Madison, which is where Sean Barnes come from. It was definitely, a Sean Barnes hire, and then that he brought him over here. The Seattle Times also reporting Katie Wilson saying that Barnes also said, this is the guy who should, if I'm going to resign, this is who you should have step in for the moment.
Okay.
They're also pointing out, as we mentioned, Beloit, a city of 36,000 people, 70 sworn officers, whereas Seattle population we're close to 800,000 now. Roughly, he'll be managing for the interim 1,000 officers. So it's certainly a difference of scale. He's a 20 years experienced officer, but these are
To John's
some
point,
of the facts.
to John Curley's point earlier in the show, John was the first guest we had on the show on the John Curley Show, which I still cannot. My mind boggles. And John made a great point that the police chief of a large city really doesn't have a lot of jobs other than, almost figureheadish.
Sure.
As the mayor's representative to the city, if you will, and that just because acting chief Sales has small town experience, he does have experience communicating with the public. He's got experience in anti-gun violence task force, gang task force. He's a member of the SWAT team. He's versed in the attributes that a law enforcement officer needs, as well as an administrator needs in this city.
And to your point, this is something that we had a listener named Dennis in the 253 said something similar. I think the idea this had anything to do with Barnes' absence is absurd. Let's face it, a police chief could work remotely 80% of the time. She can get daily updates and briefings from their staff. They don't have daily contact with the line officers, and have nothing to do with investigations, etc. I would take issue with some of these, but the idea that the police chief, I think a lot of people relate to your boss's boss. You don't talk to them a whole lot, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of these people that they're having higher level discussions, whether or not that's an appropriate way to lead or not. I think that's ultimately a discussion that was being had at the level of the city.
Yeah.
But it is one way to manage, and sometimes you don't need to be that hands on.
And it may have been just one of many elements that led the mayor to ask for the chief's resignation, was the fact that he was at so many different work-related conferences around the country. As a member of the Black law enforcement community, he was at the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. It's where Chief Barnes was in Dallas on this weekend when the Sunday shooting took place. And imagine that interim Chief Sales, who was also a Black executive in the law enforcement community. I'm sure they, not just that he was 90 minutes up the road in Beloit, Wisconsin, I'm sure they also had a lot of interactions at these various events.
Yeah.
As a Black chief of police in America, you are a keynote speaker. You're a much sought after speaker. You have an obligation to that community, and of course you have the first obligation, and first and foremost is to the city you're employed by. It's our tax dollars expecting the chief to make sure that the organization is run effectively. But Chief Barnes has an obligation to his community of Black law enforcement officers to be an example, to lead in that arena as well. And it's just there was too many. Chief Barnes seems to have been pulled in too many directions between his family in Chicago, his commitment to the Black law enforcement community, his commitment to Seattle. At some point, you got to make some concessions. Was that enough to ask for resignation? We'll find out tomorrow when Mayor Wilson clarifies why she sought this action and why she accepted the resignation letter of Chief Barnes.
Can I ask you, what do you think Andre Sales' feeling was learning that he would be the interim police chief? I asked this question because we talked about it, I think, in a previous hour. The history of police chiefs in Seattle, recent history. You've got Carmen Best, followed by, I'll stick to the
Chief Diaz.
Diaz and now Barnes. Not a lot of people ending their tenures
on their own terms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
nothing else. Yes. Yeah. Good. Yes.
A lot of breakups. Not a lot of happy ever afters. I would venture to postulate that every chief who takes that job takes it with the assumption that they're the guy that's going to fix this, that they're the guy that's going to be, I can do this. I'm up for this job. I'm qualified for this job. My heart's in this job. I'm going to right this ship. The city deserves consistency and competency in its leadership with law enforcement community. And he's a guy who's, he's been the chief of police in a small town. He came with Chief Barnes from the Midwest. Chief Barnes thought enough of his relationship with him that he thought to make him an assistant chief, a deputy chief, rather, and that he's up to the job. It was reported just a few moments ago that Chief Barnes in the Seattle Times, that Chief Barnes recommends if I'm not your guy, don't miss this guy.
Yeah.
Don't let his association with me cloud your judgment. Give this guy a shot. And I'm sure they'll have a national search for a new chief of police for Seattle. And I'm sure that Chief Sales will be, if he wants it, recommended or applying for this job.
Starts with,
and time in the chair does help a guy. That's how Diaz got the gig. He was an acting chief. He became chief.
True. Yeah.
He couldn't stop writing love notes and leaving them in company cars.
That's the allegation. Oh my God.
We deserve. We have. Come on.
Yeah, and
we deserve a night out with some flowers and a steak dinner. Come on, Chief. I'm sorry.
And I should say, I lump Carmen Best in there in a way that's perhaps unfair to her. It's just it's hard to parse that particular scandal because it does seem it may have been more of a Durkin thing, but her text messages were wrapped up and they got deleted somehow.
No, absolutely. We're talking about the missing text messages, the destruction of government property in so much as deleting text messages, which were paramount to an investigation and disclosure of why the city surrendered a part of its community in the CHOP and that district of the police department to the citizens of Seattle during the summer of unrest.
Well, it just so much of the job you end up tied to an administration that you don't have a lot of agency over how they behave or how disciplined they are.
Yeah.
And this was a point that Angela made filling in on Gene Ursula this morning. Her dad being someone a police officer who was considered for the chiefdom. I don't know how you say it exactly of whatever place he was working, and he turned an opportunity down specifically because I don't want to work with that mayor. And I don't know. It's
that's a back of our mind. All of our minds thought about how we fill this seat now. Mm-hmm. Do you want to work with this administration, with this mayor who has shown no proclivity for competency in almost any aspect of her job?
And I think particularly when you're looking at the Best situation where assuming the best of intentions on her part or giving her the benefit of the doubt, perhaps she's complicit in whatever was going on there too. But just so much of you live or die by to your point, the competency of this of an administration.
I mean, you advise, and then the administrator, whether it's the mayor or the governor or the president, you advise, and whatever the leader decides, you go and execute that plan. You take that in the streets and make it work.
Do you want to hear from any listeners? We got a lot of letters.
Let's do that. Absolutely. Yeah, you bet.
Area code 253. A few months ago, I listened to Chief Barnes' interview on the Gene Ursula Show. I was rather impressed, and my takeaway is he's a real leader. At the end of the interview, G asked a question, how long can Seattle hold on to him? That is a prescient question. I think the only person that should resign is Mayor Wilson. We as a community should be grieving from a horrible weekend, yet the best police chief that Seattle has had in years walks off. No, the mayor needs to walk off. Just 3 weeks ago, we were celebrating the best city host for the FIFA World Cup. My, how quickly we have fallen. It's sad. It's frustrating.
And to that, thank you very much, 253. To that point about us being, the best host city in FIFA World Cup in 2026 in America, that was almost in spite of Mayor Wilson and her hesitancy to use the cameras available to the city for security in the stadium district. I mean, it took federal agencies and state agencies and experts in their field to come in and convince this mayor. Of 11 host cities in America, we can't be the only one that doesn't rely on all the tools and assets to keep the patrons and the visitors to the city safe. That makes us the soft target that ne'er-do-well doers look for. And, so we had this amazing experience with Seattle. As they say, almost 3 million people came into Seattle over the course of World Cup, whether it's locals coming into the downtown area or visiting the district, the waterfront, the watch parties, all over town, visitors from out of town. We did it. We did it right, but almost in spite of Mayor Wilson's leadership. She had to be dragged kicking and screaming to turning on the cameras. And the lack of cameras at Seattle Center is why we don't know today who we're looking for, how many people we're looking for in the aftermath of the shooting Sunday night at Seattle Center. So again, I ask, Mayor Wilson, will you listen to wise advice? Will you dig your heels in? And again, tomorrow morning's press conference, I still want to know why. Why we weren't told for 5 hours. My kid was working at Seattle Center Sunday.
So scary,
my kid is a usher at the Seattle Science Center.
Wow.
And so, I hear the news and I'm texting with my kid. We're fine.
Wow.
It was between visitors. They had closed the daytime. They were preparing for the nighttime IMAX and laser shows that they show at Seattle Center. So at that point, my kid they closed for the night. They send people home.
Yeah.
Then you hear they're looking for an active shooter that may have run toward IMAX. And I'm thinking, oh my God.
I understand the conversations around or people wanting to have these security cameras. At the same time, they are not preventative. Do you know what I mean?
They're not. I'm with you. We spoke to the president of the Seattle Police Officers Guild, President Lowe, and I apologize.
Oh, Ken.
Ken. Yeah, Ken. And he said, look, they're not preventative, but oftentimes they're the only witness to a crime.
Okay.
And with regard, Chief Barnes, ex-Chief Barnes, former Chief Barnes, said there are 80 eyewitness tips that have come in with regard to the center shooting this Sunday. He said we've got conflicting stories, so we have to compare similarities between these stories to get some kind of a amalgamated framework of who we're looking for. With cameras, you wouldn't need that. You'd have proof.
Okay, yeah.
So tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock.
That's right.
Can't wait. I can't wait. And you should have to wait any longer either. Real-time traffic, Nate Connors, how's it looking, buddy?
It's looking pretty rough out there. Bellevue to Everett, an hour and 10 minutes, and we're slow from Bellevue all the way to that Alderwood interchange. Seattle to Everett, 1 hour, and it's solid from Northgate into Mill Creek. Everett to Marysville, struggling as well. A half hour to make this typical backup between 526 and 528, but it is heavier than normal. Eastbound 522 is bumper to bumper from 145th and Lake City Way all the way into Kenmore. That's a 3-mile solid backup. South 5 into Seattle, it's a parking lot from Northgate to I-90. Linwood to Seattle is an hour and 5 minutes. North 5, you're packed from the north end of Boeing Field to the Ship Canal Bridge. At Olive Way, we have a new stall right in the center lane. Adding to this, about 45 minutes to clear this. And crossing the lake from Bellevue, 35 minutes on 520. You're packed from 84th to I-5. Half hour on I-90, where it's heavy from Island Crest Way to I-5. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
You know how some parts of the house don't work? Let me explain. There's that closet that you've got that when you open it up, everything falls out. Or you try to find something, you can't because it's not working. There's too much stuff in there. And how about the garage? I know some people that can't park their car in the garage because there's everything else parked in the garage. You see what I'm saying? There might be some other parts of the house where it's just packed and there's no place to store anything. So maybe you've even gone to renting one of those storage units. Well, that adds up every single month. You can't even remember what's in there. So a better investment to get parts of those house working would be Closets by Design. The consultant comes to your house. They look at the problem. They know that each one of these problems that need to be solved have to be customized. But you don't get a big customized price. You're going to get 40% off plus an additional 15% off in 18 months. 0% financing on approved credit when paid in full. I really became a believer in Closets by Design when they came out to the barn in Cleellum. You should see the work that they did. My goodness. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's closetsbydesign.com.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. What a week on the water. According to naturalists from Puget Sound Express, guests were able to see humpbacks, Biggs orcas, minke whales, a gray whale, Pacific white-sided dolphins, harbor porpoises, stellar and California sea lions, harbor seals with new pups, a sea otter, bald eagles, and dozens of tufted puffins. Highlights included the T-38 orca family hunting along the shoreline, humpbacks Pinnacle and Rumble feeding in the Strait, and more than 100 harbor seals hauled out at Protection Island. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds, Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Morning tours sell out quickly, so don't forget about afternoon departures. Orcas, humpbacks, gray whales, minke whales, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can be financially draining too. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare so patients can focus on healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $3 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can make a direct impact. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel and Spa in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of hope and inspiration, celebrating local cancer survivors. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repairs, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-List member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. For the first time today, we are hearing directly from Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson after she announced the resignation of former police chief Sean Barnes.
This afternoon, I received and accepted the resignation of Chief Barnes.
Her office releasing that video statement acknowledging a lapse in communication on the night of the Bite of Seattle shooting on Sunday.
The public should have heard sooner about outstanding suspects and the status of the Seattle Center campus. We will be working with SPD to ensure that communications go out much sooner in the future, should anything like this happen again.
Wilson thanked Barnes for his service, but did not fully explain why she requested his resignation. Council President Joy Hollingsworth called that a reckless decision.
I think this point in time, this is not the appropriate call that we need to be doing as a city, and it's not sending the proper message to residents.
Mayor Wilson is holding a news conference tomorrow at 11. That's when she'll introduce Deputy Chief Andre Sales as interim chief. Of course, we will carry that news conference live tomorrow at 11. A second person is charged in connection with the shooting of a 2-year-old boy in Tacoma.
On March 31st, the boy was hit in the chest when somebody fired into the Village at Soda Apartments along South 96th Street. He survived but suffered a broken rib which was pushed into one of his lungs. Pierce County prosecutors have charged 25-year-old Avery Allen Lucas McDaniel with assault and unlawful possession of a firearm. The News Tribune reports another suspect who was arrested earlier this year allegedly fired into the apartment and that the target was somebody he'd been fighting with. Investigators say McDaniel was at the scene too. He pleaded not guilty and his bail was set at $150,000. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Amazon posted more than $200 billion in quarterly revenue. That is up 20% from a year ago, beating Wall Street expectations. Amazon Web Services led the charge, growing nearly 37%. That's its best quarter in 4.5 years, powered by surging demand for artificial intelligence. CEO Andy Jassy told investors AWS still has a lot of room to grow.
We long believed AWS could become a few $100 billion revenue business, and now believe it'll be at least double that, and very possibly be a $1 trillion annual revenue business for us in time.
Amazon stock jumped about 10% in after-hours trading. Now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
This one brought to us by Seattle Sports. Bellevue to Everett, we're down to 55 minutes, and it's still slow from Bellevue to Alderwood, but obviously starting to pick up the pace here. Seattle to Everett, also 55 minutes. We're solid from Northgate all the way into Mill Creek. Everett to Marysville, we're struggling at a half-hour commute this evening with a heavy backup from 526 to 528. As you head into Seattle from the north end, South 5, we're barely moving from Northgate to I-90. In fact, it's an hour and 5 minutes from Linwood in the downtown. And now the off-ramp at 50th there in the U-District is partially blocked from a new collision. North 5 packed from the north end of Boeing Field to the Ship Canal Bridge. We cleared our stall at Olive Way out of your way, but we're still looking at 40 minutes to get through this. Bellevue to South Center is at 40 minutes. Bumper to bumper from 520 through Cold Creek Parkway. From there, you're still crowded into the Renton S-curves, and then another backup in South Center. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, plan on 45 minutes. We've got a pretty solid backup from Renton all the way into Sumner. It gets real thick there at State Route 18. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Forecast for the next couple of days looks good. We are looking at clear skies for tonight. More sunshine tomorrow. Highs in the low 80s for Friday. Low 70s on Saturday and Sunday for Seafair weekend. Could see some clouds and even a couple of showers, mainly on Saturday. Right now, 78 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh my goodness. Latini, get ready. She loves spinning the big wheel, the Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipe wheel. There we go, Teeny. I see it. She fixed it. Landed on Teeny. All right, so this is where one of us gets to give a Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipe, what they like to do with the eggs. Teeny, it's landed on you. And your answer is?
I know exactly what is going to happen. Potato.
All right, there we go. Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipes available for you. Oh, they're on it. .com.
This hour of the John Curley Show brought to you by the Home Comfort Alliance. Aaron Granillo, you're still sitting in the chair, but I'm so lock the door. So if I got this straight, and I appreciate your reporting on this, there's an announcement from the mayor's office.
That's right. Yeah, she's calling a press conference for tomorrow morning at 11. But
Is she waiting for dignitaries? I couldn't help pass that joke
good
up.
One, Spike. Perhaps. But no, I mean, this is obviously, we've been reporting on this all day. Every news outlet has. We had internal sources telling us that the mayor had been fired Now we got the word that
the chief had been fired.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
I started that yesterday.
Boy,
and it's contagious.
So easy to conflate them.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That the chief, Sean Barnes, had been fired. Now we have the official resignation letter from Chief Sean Barnes.
Do we have that, or we just have the mayor alluding to that?
There is at least a portion of the statement here in this statement from the mayor. It says, the men and women of this department show up every single day with professionalism and dedication. What they did in the aftermath of the Bite of Seattle tragedy reflects the very best of who they are. I am proud of them. I have deep faith in the future of this department. It goes on to say that Seattle is committed to building a department that is connected to the communities it serves. I hope this transition gives the city and this department the opportunity to return full focus to what matters most, addressing youth gun violence and preventing more tragedies. It has more in there, but that's the gist of it.
So to be clear, that is a quote from Chief Barnes. So
Yeah,
they're quoting Chief Barnes. Yeah.
So that is, thank you for the update on that. That just boggles the mind to me personally when the chief says to his subordinates last night, "I've been fired."
Yeah. And I mean, as you saw all the news today, there are many people who are not happy with this, including pretty much every council member that we've heard from so far. Let me just read you a quote from Council Member Maritza Rivera, who was on the Public Safety Committee, mind you, along with Rob Saka. But she says, this is a quote from Maritza Rivera, "The impulsive and reckless decision to fire Chief Sean Barnes is the latest in a series of missteps, including her inadequate response to serious gun violence in our city." It goes on to say, her lack of experience, her incompetence have led to poor decision-making and put the safety of our communities at risk. Again, that is just from one council member, Maritza Rivera. We've heard from several others, including Rob Saka, who called it reckless, the council president, Joy Hollingsworth, also calling it a reckless decision, saying this is not the right time to fire the chief in light of the active investigation surrounding the shooting at the Bite of Seattle. And also, we have a major event coming up this weekend.
The biggest event of the year.
The Seafair.
The biggest event of every calendar year of Seattle. Frank Lindsay joins us now, news director.
Yeah, Aaron, I just wanted to add to what you guys are talking about with Maritza Rivera. I spoke with her just a few minutes ago, and she echoed the comments she made in her statement. And as I hung up with her, the press release from the mayor came out, and so I called Councilmember Rivera back. I said, "Have you seen this?" And she pulled it up while I'm talking to her.
Oh. So she's her response yet? Or she's digesting it?
She's digesting it. But what she had, she did say she's not familiar with Assistant Chief Sales, so she can't comment on his selection as interim chief. But what she had told me was about Chief Barnes. She's got no problem, she says, with him as a chief. She says he's been a great partner and has been good to work with from her perspective. And she doesn't understand, doesn't know, hasn't been told why Mayor Wilson wanted him out.
Yeah.
And so
there's been no clarification for cause from the mayor's office regarding
not even this latest statement.
Maybe 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
I would imagine.
If we're lucky enough.
Yeah.
John Curley was just on with us because it's the John Curley Show, and he's nice enough to call in. He speculated that the I won't resign gave former Chief Barnes, so much leverage in this situation. If he is willing then to resign, after last night conveying to subordinates in his department, I was fired, there's a lot we don't know. And I think most of it, and I get to speculate, that's my role here at the station, is the lack of communication between the community from the 6 o'clock shooting at the Seattle Center on Sunday to the 11 o'clock press avail featuring dignitaries as backup singers. Might have been the Pips up there for all the good they did. The lack of communication, does this indicate to any of you guys, and maybe you're on at liberty to speculate, that Chief Barnes possibly had a hand in why the city wasn't updated from a public safety perspective? It was my assumption, since Chief Barnes was refusing to resign, that directive to not inform the community until there was a gathering at 11 o'clock was a directive from the mayor's office.
I don't see personally. I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see what we
have a right to know, though, right? As a public.
Absolutely. I mean, the flow of information here. The infamous delay on Sunday night, and then that barrage of news conferences we got, where by
every 5 hours after that, like I was taking a dietetic medicine or something.
And the information there, honestly, is stuff we already knew a couple hours before they came out to talk. So it's been definitely...
Well, the things it's amazing the things we still don't know. Like, for example, if we're looking for one suspect or more than one suspect, what that suspect may look like, gender, age, height, whatever, national or ethnicity. We don't know any of these things. And the chief then resigns.
We don't know why. And of course, that infamous interaction with the reporter as well. We would think that possibly could be a factor in all of this as well. But we don't know.
That's not a fireable offense.
We don't know.
We don't. Okay. Thank you both, gentlemen. Yep. Aaron Ganillo, Frank Lindsay, thank you both very, very much. It's an ongoing story, and you're as befuddled as we are, and we do this for a living. So I can imagine what you poor folks at home are thinking today as we go. Let's right now go to Real-Time Traffic Desk with Nate Connors. One thing we can guarantee you is that Nate will help you avoid any troubles on your way home. Nate, how's it going?
It's still rough out there, Spike. Bellevue to Everett is at 55 minutes. We're slow from Bellevue to Alderwood. Seattle to Everett down to 45 minutes, but it's still solid from Northgate up into Mill Creek. South 5, we're barely moving from Northgate to I-90. Linwood to Seattle has gone down just a bit, but still a lengthy 55-minute commute. The off-ramp to 50th is still partially blocked from a collision. North 5, packed from the north end of Boeing Field to the Ship Canal Bridge. 35 minutes gets you through this. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, a half hour on both bridge routes. Bellevue to South Center, 40 minutes. Bumper to bumper from 520 through Cold Creek Parkway. Then you'll thin out, but you're not in the clear until you get down toward the Renton S-curves. And then we're in another thick backup there in South Center approaching I-5. And North 405 in South Center is packed from I-5 through the Renton S-curves, 40 minutes from South Center into Bellevue. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk, Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Holy smokes, I can see. Hey everybody, it's Rick Riz, and I just had refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision, and it's amazing. K2 Vision RLE means no more readers or glasses for me. Plus, I'll never get a cataract. Now, when I call a game, you won't see those readers dangling from the end of my nose to see the field and then my notes. I only wish I had done it sooner. It's like seeing a whole new ball game. K2 Vision RLE was quick and painless, over in just minutes, and I knew I was in great hands. The K2 Vision RLE team has done over 150,000 lens procedures. You can trust their stuff. K2 Vision RLE is my permanent solution to a lifetime of great vision. It could be yours too. Enjoy life's good years without readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. Get your free Zoom consult now at K2VisionRLE.com. Then you can make the same call I did. Goodbye, glasses. K2VisionRLE.com.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about Scouting.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and Elder Law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, "You're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps." Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way August 1st, Puyallup on the 4th, Tacoma on the 6th, or Bellevue August 8th. Space is limited, so sign up today at LifePointLaw.com. That's LifePointLaw.com.
KIRO News Radio is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks in their preseason home opener, Saturday, August 15th.
To enter, open the KIRO News Radio app or visit mynorthwest.com/win for details.
You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances.
Enter daily from July 28th through August 3rd.
Full details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win.
That's mynorthwest.com/win.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K. The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
Welcome back to the John Curley Show. I'm Spike O'Neill filling in on this breaking news day. So just to recap, on the heels of a statement from numerous members of Seattle City Council calling Mayor Wilson's reported termination of Police Chief Sean Barnes reckless and irresponsible and ill-timed, we were received a press announcement from the mayor's office just moments ago, from Office of Mayor Katie B. Wilson, that she accepted a letter of resignation from Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes. Chief Barnes was appointed by Bruce Harrell in late 2024 and has made substantial contributions to public safety in Seattle. And this is from a direct quote from Chief Barnes' resignation letter. "It has been an honor to serve Seattle Police Department and this city. The men and women of this department show up every single day with professionalism and dedication. And what they did in the aftermath of the Bite of Seattle tragedy reflects the very best of who we are. I'm proud of them. I have deep faith in the future of this department and in the version of community-based policing that is taking root here." There will be a press conference tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock from the mayor's office. And I'm hoping at that point, and I can guarantee you that a press conference, there will be members of our reporting team down there to ask the mayor.
Absolutely.
What changed from last evening when the report was the asking for the chief's resignation and his refusal to do so, his then communication to his subordinates that he had been fired. That story breaking throughout the city through various news outlets and reporting sources. Something is something that we don't know, and we deserve to know. And tomorrow morning's press conference at 11 o'clock with Mayor Wilson, we'll see if we can actually get answers to these questions. Because if this chief, we all assumed, at least from the opinion side of this radio station's responsibility to the community, that the mayor's decision to ask for the chief's resignation was perhaps an opportunity to grab a fall guy, someone to fall on the sword for this administration's mishandling or the city's mishandling of the post-shooting environment of Sunday evening, when the city, for 5 hours, there were people hunkered down in bars and businesses around the Seattle center. Police were still looking for an active shooter. We didn't know who or how many. We still don't at this point. And that's a genuine shortcoming. And is that a shortcoming of this police department with its responsibility to inform the city from a perspective of public safety? The chief resigns, which leads me to speculate, and I love that I get to do that perhaps there was some responsibility and some decision from within the police department itself to withhold or to hold public announcements of conditions and the situation until the inevitable 11 o'clock press conference, as opposed to notifying. Reporting today earlier from various media sources, Seattle Police were ready to make an announcement at 7:30. They were told to hold 4 dignitaries. The Seattle Officer of Information, Public Information Officer, said, look, we're holding up for the arrival of dignitaries to make this address. Mayor Wilson then said, we can't have the address. We can't do something here at Seattle Center because it's not safe. Seattle Police hadn't secured the area. And doesn't mean you can't announce to the public that there may be an active shooter in the community to update for safety and information reasons from another location. Have it at City Hall steps. If the center's not safe, issue a press release, issue a text alert to the community. All these things, these are still questions that we deserve answers to. Hopefully tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, we'll start to unravel this bag of snakes and get answers to the questions we deserve to have. It's John Curley Show. I'm Spike O'Neill.
That's right.
Brought to you by caffeine and lots of it. Let's now go to the traffic desk. Nate Connors, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Spike. We're still seeing heavy backups comparable to our peak afternoon commute. We're nearing the end of the afternoon drive. Here we go, Bellevue to Everett. 50 minutes. We're slow from Bellevue into Totem Lake, and then from there, it's scattered into Alderwood. Seattle to Everett, 45 minutes, still solid. We'll call it closer to 1:30 there in Northgate, almost into Shoreline now, into South Everett now. Linwood to Seattle, we're down to 45 minutes, but it is a hefty backup still from Northgate to I-90. At the John Lewis Memorial pedestrian overpass in Northgate, we have a crash. It's on the right shoulder, but it's causing traffic to jam up pretty good at the scene. North 5 into Seattle, packed at the Michigan Curve now to the Ship Canal Bridge. 35 minutes to clear downtown. Southbound 99, we're bumper to bumper just prior to the Aurora Bridge to the stadiums. Northbound 99 is packed from the West Seattle Bridge to South Lake Union. Seattle to Federal Way, a half hour. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter-churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Holy smokes!
The on Cruise Adventures Rick Riz Show.
What happened at the ballpark yesterday?
Sparky's sitting on my scorpic here, my cat.
Friday mornings at 8:15 on Seattle's Morning News.
Hi, thanks for calling Uline.
Wait, did the phone even ring?
Nope.
Okay, so you answered before the ring. But now you're going to put me on hold, right?
We don't do that here. We're real people answering the phone, ready to help with your order when you are.
Uline has thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline, we warehouse for you.
For more than 75 years, the VA Home Loan Benefit has helped millions of eligible veterans and service members achieve their piece of the American dream, a home for their families. Did you know that you could purchase a home or refinance your current home loan with your VA Home Loan Benefit? VA home loans have lower closing costs and generally enjoy lower interest rates than other borrowers. The VA Home Loan may save you thousands of dollars on your mortgage. For more information, visit www.va.gov or talk to a lender of your choice. Choose VA.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
This is Ricky Rubio, point guard for the Phoenix Suns.
And I'm Holly Robinson Peete, actor and along with Ricky, ambassador for Delivering Jobs. We know that a job is empowering and instills confidence. Yet 81% of adults with developmental differences don't have a paid job, even though companies that employ people with differences report better morale and higher productivity.
There are 6.5 million people in the U.S. with an intellectual or developmental difference such as autism.
And now, thanks to Autism Speaks, Best Buddies, the Holly Rod Foundation, and Special Olympics, there has never been more opportunity to improve hiring practices and build a more inclusive workforce. Join me, Ricky Rubio, and these amazing organizations in supporting and creating pathways to 1 million employment and leadership opportunities for this talented community.
Visit deliveringjobs.org to learn more.
That's deliveringjobs.org.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T